Chapter 195. Deliberately complicating an issue. Accident 2. No need. Lung Qingtian replied. How could they let such a good opportunity slip by? Even though this guy was stronger than them, and had an advantage in level, the pressure of a spiritual deity was still bearable for them. While releasing heavenly spiritual skills, Lung Qingtian kept throwing numerous spiritual power recovery pills into his mouth. The old man and Lin Liang did the same. You are despicable. The spiritual deity fighting with them had never seen anyone taking pills like this. He was so angry that he was about to vomit blood. You are the despicable ones. We're just giving you a taste of your own medicine, Lin Liang said nonchalantly. It was good to have an alchemist by their side. Otherwise, who would dare to eat pills this way? Fatal blow! The old man suddenly shouted when he saw that the time was ripe. Okay. Lung Qingtian and Lin Liang were ready at the same time. After receiving the signal from the old man's eyes, they simultaneously launched their strongest attacks. Divine Flame Blade, Wind Blade Slash, Light of Water, Red, Green, and Light Blue spiritual power simultaneously attacked the only living spiritual deity. As soon as the three spiritual powers entered the spiritual deity's body, they began to engage in a relentless battle within his body. Cracking sounds resounded from the spiritual deity's body. The spiritual deity had a pained expression as his face turned red, then green, and finally blue. Aha! The spiritual deity screamed in pain. Immediately afterward, the spiritual deity's body exploded into smithereens with a bang. We've finally succeeded. It really wasn't easy, the old man said with a face full of emotion. He originally thought they were dead for sure, but things took an unexpected turn. Not only did they not die, but they even killed half of the opponents. How lucky! Yes, it was truly too harrowing. Let's slowly deal with the remaining people, when we have the chance. Lin Liang wiped the sweat off his forehead. Fighting with the spiritual deity was really exhausting. Fortunately, they had those pills. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to kill the spiritual deity. Fortunately, those people separated, Lung Qingtian echoed. Little girl, let's clean up the battlefield. Although these spiritual deities seemed poor, they might have some things we can use. The old man took off the storage ring of a spiritual deity and scanned it with his divine sense. His face instantly turned very ugly. What's the matter? Lung Qingtian was puzzled. He took the ring from the old man's hand, glanced at it, and immediately fell silent. These guys were poorer than I imagined, the old man explained as Lin Liang looked at them with a questioning gaze. Then should we still clean up? Lin Liang asked after a pause. Of course. These are our spoils of war, Lung Qingtian said after some thought. He reckoned that the old man and Lin Liang would follow them in the future. How much would it cost to support so many people? Thinking of this, he couldn't help having a headache. Okay. After hearing what Lung Qingtian said, everyone and the beasts went to clean up the battlefield and destroy the evidence. Seeing that everyone was helping out, Lung Ruoxue began observing the uninhabited valley alone. The valley was about 30 to 40 meters deep, and there was no end to it at a glance. Moreover, it was surrounded by mountains, and the temperature was several degrees lower than outside. Most importantly, the soundproofing here was good. So much so that no sound escaped despite their intense battle just now. This place is really a good place. Swear, be careful. Ruoxue. Little girl. Master. Lung Ruoxue suddenly heard everyone's voice. She was about to turn around when she saw Su Xing, who was charred all over, rushing toward her like a madman. It turned out that Su Xing had been pretending to be dead, and had gathered his remaining spiritual power in his palm when no one was looking, planning to deliver a fatal blow to Lung Ruoxue. Su Xing actually didn't die? Lung Ruoxue was shocked. But before she could react, Su Xing had already attacked her. Suddenly, a tall figure shielded Lung Ruoxue and blocked Su Xing's palm for her. Immediately after, several streams of spiritual power rushed over at the same time, and hit Su Xing together. Su Xing's body softened and fell to the ground. This time he was really dead. Freak! Lung Ruoxue screamed in fear as she hugged Freak, who was falling nonstop. Sparkling tears poured out of her eyes uncontrollably, and her heart suddenly felt empty. as though she had lost something important. Schwer, my Schwer, don't cry. Don't cry. It'll be fine. Freak wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and comforted her. Schwer was crying for him. He was so happy, but his heart ached too. Yes. You will be fine. I won't allow anything to happen to you. Lung Ruoxue said domineeringly while hugging Freak tightly. Schwer, I'm so cold. Freak whispered. Su Xing's frosty palm was really vicious. He felt as though there was an ice blade cutting his body. Fortunately, it hit him. Otherwise, Schwer's tender skin and flesh wouldn't have been able to bear it. I will hold you and won't let you be cold. Lung Ruoxue hugged Freak even more tightly as her tears fell drop by drop like pearls. Let me see. The old man came to their side and frowned. Then he grabbed one of Yi Chen's hands to check. How is it? Lung Qingtian and the others, who were farther away, arrived. The frost poison entering the body is really too poisonous, the old man said softly and shook his head gently. Alas! There was no hope. This was the vicious part of the Su family's frosty palm. After being hit by its frost poison, ice attribute spiritual power would take the opportunity to enter the body and wreak havoc on the Bodhi's functions. Moreover, Su Xing had just used a technique that would cause an internecine outcome, so, after hearing what the old man said, Lung Qingtian, Lin Liang, and the beasts all felt unusually heavy. Alas! It was originally a perfect plan, but who knew that such an accident would happen? This was really... Chapter 196. Deliberately Complicating an Issue Accident 3. Freak! Freak! Wake up! Don't leave me! Lung Ruoxue screamed in agony when she saw the unconscious Freak. Her heart felt like it was being stabbed by a knife. Schwer, calm down. He's already. Lung Qingtian couldn't continue. He checked Yi Chen's breathing just now, but it was already gone. He only fainted. I will heal him. I won't let him leave me. Lung Ruoxue hugged Freak's body and returned to the heaven and earth bracelet with a thought. Schwer, Big Brother will help you. Lung Ruhan's heart ached when he saw his sister's desperate look. He hurriedly took the freezing Yi Chen from Lung Ruoxue. Thank you, Big Brother. Please help me carry him into the purple bamboo house. Lung Ruoxue said abnormally calmly. Lung Ruhan nodded. Carrying Yi Chen's cold body, he entered the purple bamboo house and placed him on the jade bed inside. Big Brother, thanks. I want to be alone with Freak, Lung Ruoxue said lightly. Okay, then Big Brother will go out, Lung Ruhan said helplessly. Alas! Schwer's current appearance really worried him. In his heart, it was better that Schwer cried or threw a tantrum than being so calm. Ruhan, how is Schwer? Lung Qingtian asked worriedly after returning to the heaven and earth bracelet. Very bad, Lung Ruhan said honestly. He didn't want to scare his grandfather, but Schwer's current condition was really not good. Alas! How did this happen? How did Su Xing survive? Schwer's flames are extraordinary. Lung Qingtian was puzzled. I once heard that the Su family seems to have a secret technique that can fake death. Moreover, the Su family primarily uses ice attribute spiritual power. I think he used ice attribute spiritual power to freeze himself and then fake death, Lin Liang explained. He actually thought that the Su family's secret technique was a joke when he had heard it. He didn't expect it to really exist. Let's go out and kill the remaining spiritual deities to vent our anger for the little girl, the old man suggested. Alas, he was anxious because he couldn't help. If killing them will bring Yi Chen back to life, oh go now, Lung Qingtian said furiously. Then what do you suggest we do? The old man frowned aggrievedly. Of course, we have to keep an eye on Schwer. What if she can't think things through? Lung Qingtian said worriedly. Even if a knife was hanging over his head, he wouldn't leave his granddaughter now. Inside the purple bamboo house, Lung Ruoxue stood motionlessly by the side of Freak, who was beginning to freeze. Tears kept welling up in her eyes. In fact, she knew very well that he was dead. Freak! Lung Ruoxue couldn't help calling out softly. The situation when she first saw him was still deeply etched in her mind. She remembered the first time she saw him. She had a premonition that this guy was definitely in big trouble. And the fact was that she was right. She had seen many men in her 2 lifetimes, but this was the first time she had seen a person being so coquettish. Even though she knew very well that his coquettish behavior was only for her. In front of outsiders, Freak was definitely devious and terrifying. Freak liked to act coquettishly, liked to be jealous, liked to take advantage of her from time to time, liked. All the memories relating to him were still so clear at this moment. It turned out that Freak had already entered her heart unknowingly, but she knew nothing about it. All along, she had thought that she only regarded him as one of her own. But she knew that it wasn't true today. Freak had unknowingly occupied her heart a long time ago. But why? It was only when he left her did she know how important he was to her. Why? It wasn't until she lost him that she realized she loved him. Boo-hoo at this point. Her tears rolled down uncontrollably. Freak, I love you, Lung Ruashua murmured. But, Freak, you haven't said you love me to me, so you can't leave me like this. I won't allow it. Freak, I will find you no matter where your soul goes. Freak, I'm very overbearing and possessive. Don't even think about leaving me since I've discovered my feelings for you. Freak, you are mine whether you're alive or dead. You can only be mine whether you live or die. Got it? Freak, wait for me obediently. Wait for me to find you. Outside the purple bamboo house. It's been so many days. I wonder what Schwer is doing now. The word worry was written all over Lung Qingshan's face as he paced back and forth. Grandpa, big sister is fine. Trust me. Qingju quickly comforted. He had always been in control of the situation in the purple bamboo house. Big sister hasn't taken things too hard. It's just a lass. In short, it's still alright. Old Lung, don't worry since Qingju said so. Outsiders like us can't help with matters of the heart. Ruashua can only rely on herself to think things through. Lin Liang said helplessly. Ruashua alone was enough to make them worry, but old Lung actually added to the trouble. But it's been 10 days without eating or drinking. Lung Qingtian couldn't help saying. Grandpa, trust Schwer. Lung Ruhan walked to his grandfather's side to console him. Damn old man, all you know is to eat. 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 Lung Qingtian couldn't help cursing when he turned his head and saw the old man gorging himself again. What do you know? It's called turning grief and indignation into appetite. The old man boasted shamelessly. Alas, he was also worried about the little girl. But he couldn't think of a better way, so he could only vent by eating. Quill is back, Qingju said suddenly. When the two old men saw Quill return, they stopped quarreling and quickly asked, Quill, what's happening outside now? Most of the Lingfeng continent has already been occupied by those spiritual deities. Moreover, the Hua family and the Feng family also suffered heavy casualties, Quill explained. Those people were really too arrogant. They had already eliminated all the forces unwilling to rely on and pledge allegiance to them on the Lingfeng continent. Chapter 197. Deliberately complicating an issue accident 4. What about the Eastern Lagoon Empire? There are no countries on the Lingfeng continent anymore. The old man fell silent after hearing what Quill said. Think about it. Those things are just worldly possessions. At least your descendants are still safe now, Lung Qingtian comforted. I know. The old man nodded. Even though he had been prepared for this, he was still a little sad when he heard it. After all, it was the foundation of his Li family. Alas, it's a mess. Lin Liang sighed helplessly. In a commoner house in a remote town in the north of the Lingfeng continent, Feng Moran and others were hiding here. Deputy Leader Feng, what's happening outside? As soon as Feng Moran returned from inquiring about the news, the people waiting anxiously in the house surrounded him. The situation isn't good. Feng Moran's slightly tired face was full of worry. What about my family's old master and young miss? Lu Tao asked worriedly while holding Feng Moran's sleeve tightly. They're missing, and those spiritual deities have been looking for them. But I heard that they haven't been found. I think they should be safe now, Feng Moran quickly consoled. Big brother, how is the Feng family now? Feng Aoran asked anxiously. Gone, Feng Moran said with mixed feelings. Even though the Feng family hadn't treated him well, they were relatives related to him by blood. When he first heard this news, he felt very uncomfortable. Gone. Feng Aoran was stunned for a while. When he recovered, he grabbed Feng Moran's arm tightly and said anxiously, "Big brother, you're lying to me, right? The Feng family has the first elder and grandpa. How can they be gone? It's impossible. Impossible. Aoran, those people are spiritual deities, the top existences on the Lingfeng continent." Feng Moran didn't know how to console his brother because he knew that Aoran definitely had deeper feelings for the Feng family than he did. "Aoran, calm down. You still have Big Brother. I will take care of you," Feng Moran continued. "Big Brother." Tears streamed down Feng Aoran's face as he threw himself into Feng Moran's arms and cried bitterly. "The Anaconda mercenary group is here." Feng De shouted as he ran in from outside. "Big Brother Feng De, what should we do now?" Lu Tao was a little flustered. The Anaconda mercenary group had long sought refuge with the spiritual deities. Moreover, the Anaconda mercenary group knew their identities, so they had been pursuing them relentlessly. "Hurry up and find a place to hide. Leave those scumbags to me and Deputy Leader Feng." Feng De hurriedly made arrangements. Their young lady was missing, so he had the duty and responsibility to protect the safety of these people. He couldn't let down their young lad's trust. After hearing what Feng De said, everyone in the yard quickly found a place to hide, lest they drag the two of them down. "Feng De, you're quite good at hiding." The voice of Zhang Jian, the young master of the Anaconda mercenary group, sounded from outside the yard. "Zhang Jian, you are a dog of the Su family. Why didn't you obediently lick your master's ass but instead come out to stroll around?" Feng De said with disdain and mockery. "Damn it! Who did you say is a dog?" Zhang Jian roared furiously as he walked into the yard. "Is there anyone else here besides you?" Feng De's shrewd eyes scanned the surroundings, looking for other people. "Feng De, you are dead for sure. But I will spare your life if you tell me the whereabouts of Leng Ruoxue and the others," Zhang Jian said in a seemingly magnanimous manner. "I don't know. What do you want me to say?" Feng De said nonchalantly. "Then die. Go kill them both." Zhang Jian roared and took the lead to attack Feng De while his subordinates attacked Feng Moran. "Zhang Jian, is this all you've got?" Feng De easily dodged Zhang Jian's attack and attacked with his backhand. He infused his spiritual power into his hand and slashed at Zhang Jian. Zhang Jian was slow to react and was cut. "Just you wait." Zhang Jian roared with killing intent in his eyes. "Come out, Black Dragon." With Zhang Jian's roar, a huge black python appeared in front of everyone. The python's enormous body stood upright, almost covering the entire yard. His fierce and cold eyes stared at Feng De and Feng Moran. Feng De and Feng Moran smiled at each other in tacit understanding. "Fire Dragon, come out and meet this black dragon," Feng De said with eyes full of smiles. "Master him here." With that, a gigantic fiery red beast jumped out and occupied the entire sky above the yard. "Heavens, what is this?" Someone from the Anaconda mercenary group murmured in disbelief. Is this a dragon? A real dragon?" Another person said dumbfoundedly. "No, that's impossible. No one can contract with a dragon." Zhang Jian was even more unwilling to believe what he was seeing. Feng De was only a captain of their mercenary group in the past. How could he have a dragon as a spirit beast? This was too much of a shock for him. The black python was equally agitated. The arrogance he had when he first emerged immediately faded when he saw the real dragon. Ooh. He was just a snake even though his master called him Black Dragon. "You're called Black Dragon?" Fire Dragon's large eyes glared at the black python threateningly. "Yes, I am Black Dragon," the python named Black Dragon said tremblingly. He no longer had the majestic appearance he had when he first emerged. "Stand properly. Why are you swaying? You're a level 8 holy beast, after all. Don't be so useless, okay?" Fire Dragon roared with displeasure, looking very much like a big brother lecturing his little brother. Yes. Black Dragon stood up straight, but he still shook uncontrollably. "Boo. You can't bully a snake like this." Although he was a level 8 holy beast, what was he compared to a divine beast? Especially a dragon, which had the highest status among spirit beasts. Black Dragon, attack. Kill them. Zhang Jian was aggrieved when he saw his spirit beast behaving like an obedient grandson in front of the enemy. What was going on? It wasn't easy for him to obtain a level 8 holy beast. He originally thought that he could show off, but who knew? Chapter 198. Reunion Baby Awakens 1. Master, he's a divine beast. I can't do anything. Black Dragon choked, so depressed that he was about to cry. Fire Dragon, attack and kill them. Leave this snake's corpse intact so that we can eat its meat. Fengde said to Fire Dragon with a smile, and looked at Zhang Jian with slight mockery. How satisfying. Having a good spirit beast is so cool. No problem, Master, Fire Dragon said confidently. His confidence had soared after becoming a divine beast, and he was no longer the timid, fearful, and bullied dragon. How dare you have designs on my master? Die. Fire Dragon roared furiously. He spat a scorching dragon breath at Zhang Jian and the others, and everyone in the Anaconda mercenary group died in an instant. You actually didn't die? Fire Dragon asked curiously while looking at the snake. Wouldn't spirit beasts die with their masters? We signed an equal contract, Black Dragon explained with a long face. Oh, but my master wants to eat your meat, so you have to die too, Fire Dragon said helplessly. Hee hee, the feeling of bullying others is really good. No, don't kill me. I'm willing to be your contract spirit beast, Black Dragon pleaded on the verge of tears. But my master finds you ugly, so you'd better die. Fire Dragon opened his mouth and spat out a stream of flame that shot straight at the black python. The flame was like a sharp blade, and with a swish, it sliced through the thick skin of the black python. The black python was unable to resist as he crashed heavily onto the ground and choked to death. Deputy Leader Feng, what should we do now? Fengde asked after tidying up the yard. Let's go somewhere else and find Schwer and the others first, Feng Moran said after some thought. Schwer wasn't here now, and they had brought so many people with them, so it was really inconvenient. Okay, I'll get them to pack up. Fengde turned around to notify the mercenary group. Even though he really wanted to get rid of the Anaconda mercenary group, he first had to ensure the safety of his companions. Fire Dragon, take us to a place with few people. Fengde patted Fire Dragon's back after everyone gathered in the yard. Okay, Master. Fire Dragon nodded his huge dragon head in the air. After everyone sat on him, he flapped his giant wings and rushed into the sky to find a safe place. At this moment, Lung Qingtian and the others were still waiting anxiously in the Heaven and Earth bracelet. No, I have to go in and take a look. Lung Qingtian really couldn't wait any longer after half a month. Grandpa, big sister is out. Qingju pulled Lung Qingshan's arm. Really? Lung Qingtian looked at the purple bamboo house uncertainly. Sure enough, he saw his precious granddaughter walk out from it. Schwer. Lung Qingtian hurried forward, his face full of concern. Grandpa, I'm sorry for making you worry, Lung Ruoxue said guiltily. She knew that everyone around her was worried about her, but she had already adjusted her mood. It's okay as long as you're willing to come out, Lung Qingtian said excitedly. It seemed like his granddaughter had thought it through, so he was relieved. Old man, Grandpa Lin, big brother, I'm sorry for making you worry, Lung Ruoxue said apologetically while looking at them. Ruoxue, we are family. There's no need to be so polite, Lin Liang said quickly. Yes, little girl. I also consider you my family. Old man quickly made his intentions clear. In fact, there was still one thing he hadn't said. In his heart, this girl was more important than his descendants now. Stop trying to steal my granddaughter. Lung Qingtian roared with jealousy, his face full of displeasure. Unfortunately, Lin Liang and Old Man completely ignored Lung Qingtian and surrounded Lung Ruoxue to ask about her well-being. Looking at how they were reacting, Lung Ruoxue would be lying if she said she wasn't touched. Moreover, she knew that from this moment on. She also regarded Old Man and Grandpa Lin as family. Master, Dazzle called out softly. Then he took the lead and threw himself into Lung Ruoxue's arms while sobbing. What's the matter, Dazzle? Why are you crying? Who bullied you? Lung Ruoxue asked as she caressed Dazzle's soft and fluffy fur. I thought that Master doesn't want us anymore. Boo-hoo. Dazzle said pitifully, his face full of grievance, tears wetting his shiny black fur. Silly, how could I not want you? Lung Ruoxue said. not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Master. Charm and the other beasts rushed into her arms as well. Lung Ruoxia's body and feet were surrounded by beasts. She hugged them, touched them, and looked at their pitiful appearance that seemed as though she had abandoned them. She was happy and amused. I'm sorry for making you worry, Lung Ruoxia said sincerely. These cute beasts were also her family. Having a lot of beasts is good. How caring. Old Man said with envy. Master, are we not caring enough? Old Man's beast, a snow-white ice bear, said with tears all over his face. Yes, caring, you are also caring. Old Man said with a face full of black lines. When did my beasts learn to pretend to be pitiful? It's really killing me. Alas. It's all the fault of little girl's beasts. Haha, Old Man. That's what you get for spouting nonsense. Your beasts must be jealous. Lin Liang gloated. Brat Lin, how dare you laugh at me? Old Man glared at him fiercely. Have you two shameless old men been replaced? Why are you bickering more and more now? Lung Qingtian said helplessly. None of your business. The two of them yelled at Lung Qingtian in unison. Stop arguing. Grandpa, what's our next step? Do you have any plans? Lung Ruoxia walked to their side helplessly. Not yet, but the continent is in chaos now. Many places have been occupied by the spiritual deities, and the Feng and Hua families have also suffered heavy losses, Lung Qingtian explained. Chapter 199. Reunion. Baby awakens too. They must have been looking for us, right? Lung Ruoxia guessed. Alas, I wonder how Big Brother Feng and the others are doing. Did they encounter any danger? Yes, but none of us went out. Grandpa, I want to look for Big Brother Feng first. I'm afraid they will be in danger, Lung Ruoxia said after thinking for a while. Although Big Brother Feng and the others had 2 divine beasts, the enemy had almost 10 spiritual deities. If they knew the relationship between Big Brother Feng and her, those people would definitely not let him and the others go, so she had to find him before them. Okay. Lung Qingtian nodded in agreement. Feng Moran and Feng Da also had divine beasts. This way, their strength would increase a little. Then let's leave this place. Lung Ruoxia exited the Heaven and Earth bracelet and released Quill. Quill, let's go find Big Brother Feng and the others. Lung Ruoxia said softly. Yes, Master. Quill flapped his enormous wings, rose into the sky, and disappeared into the horizon. After Lung Ruoxia and the others left the uninhabited valley, a young man came to the bottom of the valley shortly afterward. Along with him was a little mink almost the size of an adult's fist. The little mink was silvery white and had no stray hair. Its watery blue eyes were like the sea, deep and enchanting. Is it here? The young man asked the anxious little mink. Yes. The little mink nodded. This was the right place. Lung Ruoxia? Lung Ruoxia, where are you? The young man shouted from the bottom of the valley, but no one responded. She's probably gone. The young man said helplessly to the little mink, but he was panicking in his heart. Boo-hoo, my little grandaunt. Where did you go? I'm dead meat. Where did she go? The little mink asked anxiously, its eyes brimming with tears as a sense of loss welled up in its heart. Ah, don't cry. We will find her. We will find her. The young man said anxiously. My master. A man can sweat but not shed tears. It's all your fault. You're so useless. The little mink said angrily. His beautiful blue eyes were even bluer, and they were burning with raging flames. Master, you can't blame me for this. I've been looking for her with all my might. It wasn't easy to find a place where you could stay temporarily. The young man said aggrievedly. Alas, the weather in June changed so quickly. His life was really miserable. After searching for so long, you only found this place, and you still have the cheek to say that. It would have been better if the young man didn't quibble. The little mink turned hostile immediately. If it wasn't because I need to rely on him to find her, I really want to use my sharp little claws to scratch his face. Master, this subordinate has tried my best. The young man felt even more wrong than Do Yi-1. It wasn't that he couldn't find her but that his master's was too special, alright? Cut the crap. Hurry up and bring me to her. The little mink roared with displeasure. He raised his little head arrogantly and didn't even look at the young man. Got it. The young man left the valley with the little mink. At this time, Lung Ruoxua had been flying in the sky for 2 days. She had searched every corner of the Eastern Lagoon Empire, but didn't find any trace of Feng Moran and the others. Then Lung Ruoxua flew toward the Southern Dusk Empire. Master, there are people fighting not far below, Quill said after scanning a radius of 10,000 meters. Oh, do we know them? Lung Ruoxua asked lightly. If she knew them, she would help. If she didn't, she couldn't be bothered. After all, finding Big Brother Feng and the others was more important. Yes, there are people from the Hurricane Mercenary Group among them, Quill explained. Then let's go. After receiving Lung Ruoxua's order, Quill slowly folded his wings and descended. When they saw a giant eagle descending, both parties stopped fighting simultaneously. Haha, I have good luck with women today. Such a beautiful girl actually came knocking on my door. A somewhat wretched-looking middle-aged man said with a lewd smile after seeing Lung Ruoxua get off the giant eagle. His eyes looked at Lung Ruoxua lecherously, almost drooling. Miss, quickly leave this place. They're not good people, a handsome middle-aged uncle hurriedly shouted to Lung Ruoxua. Lung Ruoxua looked at the attitudes of the two parties toward her indifferently, and couldn't help sneering in her heart. How can I leave this place? There's a spiritual deity here. Yes, Mississippi, leave quickly, another middle-aged man with a righteous look said. If I leave, you will all be dead, Lung Ruoxua said softly. If she guessed correctly, these two middle-aged men should be the leaders of the two largest mercenary groups, the Hurricane Mercenary Group and the Universe Mercenary Group. Miss. The two middle-aged men were a little speechless. It seemed like this young lady was here to help them, but, haha, even if you don't leave, they're dead for sure. Moreover, since you're here, don't even think about leaving. The wretched-looking middle-aged man laughed hysterically, as though he was listening to a joke. Really? Lung Ruoxua said indifferently with a face full of disdain. Quill, I'll leave the spiritual deity over there to you. Master, don't worry. He won't be able to run away, Quill said confidently. Master, I want to fight too. The violent Dazzle transmitted his desire, unwilling to be left out. Okay, all of you come out. Lung Ruoxua let out all her beasts, including the thousands of silver wolves, but not her grandfather and the others. Oh my god. Both parties on the scene were dumbfounded when they saw the lineup of spirit beasts. Little girl, isn't this too exaggerated? Old man in the bracelet couldn't help saying. There were several black lines on his forehead, and his little heart was thumping nonstop from fright. I think it's pretty good. Lung Qingtian smiled happily, his face full of pride. Tch. Lin Liang and old man looked at Lung Qingtian disdainfully and fell silent. Outside the bracelet. 1. Refers to a Chinese play, The Injustice to Do-Yi That Touched Heaven and Earth, written by Guan Hanqing. Chapter 200. Reunion Baby Awakens 3. Be big bro, what should we do? The lecherous man and his group were so scared that their legs were a little weak. All of them looked at each other's pale faces in panic. What are you afraid of? We have the great spiritual deity here. The wretched man forced himself to be calm, but his voice and legs were trembling. Grandpa, spiritual deity, save us. The people hurriedly hid behind the composed spiritual deity to seek his protection. Useless things, how can a few spirit beasts scare you like this? The spiritual deity said with a face full of disappointment. He wouldn't care even if there were more holy beasts since there wasn't a divine beast. Someone is looking down on you. Get him together. Lung Ruoxua smiled at her beasts. Yes, master. The beasts replied and swarmed forward, especially the silver wolves, who charged straight at the spiritual deity. How dare you look down on our great silver wolf tribe? I'll let you have a taste of our power, the silver wolf king thought. Under the lead of Silver Wings, the silver wolf king, the silver wolves began to gang up on the spiritual deity. They directly used their most primitive attacks, biting and scratching, but not any spiritual skills. As for the spiritual deity, he was entangled by the silver wolves and didn't have the chance to attack before he was bitten to death. The others didn't end well either. The people on the two middle-aged men's side looked at this unbelievable scene with their mouths agape. No one could say anything. This is too formidable. Humph. Let's see who still dares to look down on our Silver Wolf tribe. Silver Wings said arrogantly. Today he could finally hold his head high. After all, his master's beasts were too strong, so their Silver Wolf tribe had always been useless. Boo-hoo, there's no place for heroic wolves. Well done. Lung Ruoxua was speechless. Silver Wings, you are not ordinary animals. Hee, this is what we should do, Silver Wings said, somewhat embarrassed. Miss, thank you for saving our lives. The two middle-aged men immediately walked to Lung Ruoxua's side after they returned to their senses. You're welcome. I don't save people casually, Lung Ruoxua explained. If they weren't from the Hurricane Mercenary Group, she really might not care. Miss, this is a token of our appreciation. Please don't mind it. One of the middle-aged men immediately realized what Lung Ruoxua meant, and hurriedly took a ring off his finger to hand it to her. What does this mean? Cold sweat dripped down Lung Ruoxua's forehead. Was it what she was thinking? Miss saved us. We can't repay you, so this. The middle-aged man was about to explain but was interrupted by Lung Ruoxua. I didn't save you for money. I'm friends with Big Brother Juri. Lung Ruoxua explained helplessly. Ah, so you know my son? This is great, the middle-aged man said happily, but his heart was racing. When did my foolish son meet such a strong lady? Commander Ju, I have something to do, so will be taking my leave first. Be careful. Lung Ruoxua brought all the beasts back into the Heaven and Earth bracelet and prepared to leave. Wait. Miss, may I ask where you are going? The middle-aged man stopped Lung Ruoxua and asked. I'm going to look for the Blazing Flame Mercenary Group, Lung Ruoxua explained. Miss, the Blazing Flame Mercenary Group seems to have appeared in the Northern Frost Empire some time ago. You might be able to find them there, the middle-aged man suggested. All right. Thank you, Commander Ju. Quill, let's go to the Northern Frost Empire to look for them, Lung Ruoxua said to Quill. Yes, Master. Quill replied before taking to the air and quickly disappearing. Upon reaching the Northern Frost Empire, Lung Ruoxua and Quill began a detailed search. 3 days later, Master, I think I see Feng Moran, Quill suddenly said. Where? Lung Ruoxua hurriedly asked. They had searched for several days, but Big Brother Feng and the others seemed to have disappeared into thin air. About 1,000 meters to the left. Quill, fly over. Who is it? Come out. Feng Moran, who was walking on the ground, suddenly shouted and kept looking around. Big Brother Feng, don't be nervous. It's me. Lung Ruoxua said, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Why is Big Brother Feng so paranoid? Schwer. Feng Moran was excited to see Lung Ruoxua sitting on Quill's back. Big Brother Feng, are you all okay? Lung Ruoxua asked with concern. Alas, looking at Big Brother Feng's slightly haggard face, the pressure shouldn't be small recently. We're all fine. But Feng Moran hesitated, not knowing what to say. What happened to Feng Da? Lung Ruoxua was puzzled. Feng Da had a fire dragon, so nothing should happen to him. Feng Da was captured by the Dragon Clan, Feng Moran explained. The Dragon Clan? Is it because of his contract with Fire Dragon? Lung Ruoxua asked in realization. During the contract, her grandfather had said that the dragons were not to be trifled with, but she didn't take it seriously at that time. She didn't expect Feng Da to be implicated. Alas, it's all my fault. Feng Moran nodded. If they hadn't encountered an enemy that day, and Feng Da hadn't used Fire Dragon, the dragons wouldn't have discovered them. Big Brother Feng, don't worry. I will save Feng Da unscathed, Lung Ruoxua promised. If those dragons dared to hurt Feng Da, I will destroy their nest and make them all homeless dragons. Schwer, I'll bring you to where we're staying. Feng Moran nodded. Schwer was their backbone. There was nothing to worry about after he saw her. Okay. Big Brother Feng, come up. Lung Ruoxua beckoned Feng Moran, and they sat on Quill's back together. Quill flew over according to the address Feng Moran gave. After arriving at the residence Feng Moran spoke of, Quill descended in the courtyard. Chapter 201. Reunion Baby Awakens 4. Deputy Leader Feng, you're back. Cui Zhu was the first to see Feng Moran. Hey, look who's here. Feng Moran turned around and revealed Lung Ruoxue behind him. Miss! Cui Zhu shouted happily and sprang toward Lung Ruoxue. Miss? Where is she? Cui Zhu, are you dreaming? Lu Tao's voice sounded. Lu Tao. Lung Ruoxue called out softly. Miss, it's really you. Lu Tao couldn't believe her eyes. She was stunned for a moment, and when she came back to her senses, she also sprang toward Lung Ruoxue like Cui Zhi. Miss! Miss! At this moment, everyone in the mercenary group also rushed over and surrounded Lung Ruoxue. I'm relieved that you're all okay, Lung Ruoxue said excitedly as she looked at the familiar faces. Miss, how are the general and young master? Lu Tao asked worriedly. She had not had a good night's sleep since she found out about the incident in the general's mansion. They're fine. I'll bring you to see them now. Lung Ruoxue had long thought about arranging these people to cultivate in the Heaven and Earth bracelet. After all, these people had sworn an oath to her, so there was absolutely no problem with their loyalty. Moreover, these people in the mercenary group would be her greatest help in the future, so she had to focus on nurturing them. With a thought, Lung Ruoxue moved everyone into the Heaven and Earth bracelet. Schwer, where is this? Feng Moran asked in bewilderment. Yes, Mississippi. Where is this? It's so beautiful, Cui Zhu said in amazement. This is my space. You will all cultivate here from now on, Lung Ruoxue said to everyone. Really? That's great. The spiritual energy here is so dense. Wow, this is simply a blessed land for cultivators. I'm dying of happiness. Everyone was excited. They knew very well that if their young lady allowed them to stay here, it meant that she would not chase them away anymore, and that they could follow her forever. These children, they're really too easily excited. Lin Liang shook his head and sighed softly. TCH, you weren't much better than them when you first came in. Old man immediately exposed him without giving him any face. You. Lin Liang gritted his teeth and glared at old man fiercely. But soon, he was full of smiles because these children had already discovered his existence. Principal, you're here too, Lu Yan said on behalf of all the students. Hee, I will follow Ruoxue from now on. You can't despise me, this old man. Lin Liang pretended to be pitiful. Seeing Lin Liang pretending to be pitiful, Lu Yan and the others were at a loss for words. They thought that the principal was a serious person. It seemed like you really shouldn't judge a book by its cover. While everyone was chatting and catching up, Lung Ruoxue walked toward the purple bamboo house alone because baby had woken up. As soon as she entered the purple bamboo house, a little black furball jumped into her arms. Big sister. Baby missed you so much. Baby's fluffy little face was full of attachment. Baby, you've slept for a long time, Lung Ruoxue said as she gently caressed baby's fluffy and chubby body. He's actually still fat? Big sister, how am I fat? Baby complained coquettishly after hearing Lung Ruoxue's thoughts. His figure was very standard, okay? You're cuter if you're fatter, Lung Ruoxue coaxed. She cared a lot about her first little beast. Big sister, I didn't sleep so long for nothing, Baby said with a smug face, so proud that he was only short of raising his little tail. Did you have a fortuitous encounter? Lung Ruoxue asked doubtfully. Of course. Baby is so capable now. Baby paused and continued. Not only can baby read minds now, but I can also see through a person's soul. Moreover, baby will become more capable as I grow older. Baby is really capable. Then I'll have to rely on baby to protect big sister from now on. Lung Ruoxue coaxed very cooperatively. A little baby's smug look is really too cute. Yes. Baby will protect big sister. Baby will fiercely bite whoever dares to bully big sister. Baby raised his little face and said cockily. Bite. Lung Ruoxue was speechless. Who can baby bite with his little mouth? Baby, grandpa and the others are outside. Let's go. Baby nodded. He was reluctant, but he was a good, obedient baby. Lung Ruoxue left the purple bamboo house with baby in her arms. Schwer, isn't this baby? He's awake. Lung Qingtian exclaimed in surprise when he saw the little black furball in his granddaughter's arms. Wasn't this little guy sleeping? Why hasn't anything changed even though he's awake now? It's so strange. Who says I haven't changed? I changed a lot. Baby, who heard Lung Qingshan's thoughts, said with dissatisfaction. Lung Qingtian was embarrassed. How does this little guy know what I'm thinking? Haha. Lung Ruoxue couldn't help laughing. Grandpa looks so cute. Swear, what are you laughing about? Lung Qingtian said, a little embarrassed. Grandpa, baby can read minds now, so of course he knows what you're thinking. Lung Ruoxue explained very kindly. Lung Qingtian didn't expect a spirit beast to have such a skill. It was too abnormal. With this thought, he subconsciously covered his chest and looked at baby cautiously. There's no point in covering it. I can see anything I want, baby said indifferently, his little face full of pride. Hee hee, baby, you are a good child. Can you tell Grandpa what those two old men are thinking? Lung Qingtian approached baby with an ingratiating expression and whispered mischievously, while pointing at Lin Liang, an old man not far away. Chapter 202. The Little Vermilion Bird Seeking Help 1. Them? They're thinking about what to have for dinner. Baby opened his little mouth slightly and said softly, these two gluttons only know how to eat. Lung Qingtian couldn't help scolding them with a smile. Grandpa, food is the most important thing for people. It's normal to like to eat, Lung Ruoxue said with a light smile. These three old men now treat bickering as fun. That's true. Swear, what should we have for dinner tonight? Lung Qingtian asked. There were so many people now, and the food in the space was becoming less and less. Alas! He was a little worried. Let's eat outside tonight, Lung Ruoxue said after some thought. There were few people before, so they could cook in the space. But with so many people now, it was obviously impossible. Oh right, Grandpa, where are they? Lung Ruoxue asked again. She looked around just now but didn't find any trace of Big Brother Feng and the others. They went out to look for materials to build houses, Lung Qingtian explained. Go out to look for what? Isn't there a bamboo forest over there? Lung Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. Those children can't bear to use it, Lung Qingtian said helplessly. They're back. With a thought, Lung Ruoxue brought Feng Moran and the others into the Heaven and Earth bracelet. Swear, is this your new spirit beast? Feng Moran asked curiously when he saw the chubby little fur ball in Lung Ruoxue's arms. You are the new one. I am Big Sister's first spirit beast. Baby's face was full of displeasure. Humph, so many beasts actually pestered Big Sister while I was sleeping. So infuriating. Big Sister belongs only to me. No one is allowed to snatch her. I'll bite whoever robs her away. Feng Moran was speechless. This little beast is really too. Lung Ruoxue pulled a long face and scolded. Baby, don't talk to Big Brother Feng like that. Big Sister. Baby's eyes immediately welled up with tears. He looked at Lung Ruoxue pitifully, his fluffy little face full of grievances. It's okay, Feng Moran said quickly. He was an adult and wouldn't fuss about it with an underage little beast. Big Brother Feng, you can use the bamboo in the bamboo forest. You don't have to look for materials outside. Moreover, you can use the bamboo in the space to build a room that can help absorb spiritual power, Lung Ruoxue explained. But there are so many of us. It probably won't be enough even if we use up all the bamboo. Feng Moran liked the bamboo forest the moment he saw it, but he was unwilling to use it. After all, every bamboo was full of spiritual energy. Big Brother Feng, you don't have to worry about that. Things in the space grow very quickly, Lung Ruoxue said with a light smile. Moran, see? I was right, Lung Qingtian interrupted. Then let's use that piece of bamboo. Feng Moran didn't stand on ceremony since Swear said so. Okay, Silverwings, get the Silver Wolves to help Big Brother Feng and the others. Lung Ruoxue looked at the Silver Wolf King not far away. Yes, Master, Silverwings answered and turned to summon his tribe. With the help of the Silver Wolves, the houses of Feng Moran and the others were quickly built. Well, not bad, not bad. Lung Qingtian looked at the newly built houses adjacent to each other, feeling very satisfied. Pretty fast, Old Man praised. After they finished with their lodgings, everyone left the heaven and earth bracelet and went outside to prepare dinner. After the meal, everyone left and busied themselves inside the heaven and earth bracelet. Shwe. Lung Ruoxue was sitting alone on a rock by the waterfall. When she heard Feng Moran's voice, she turned her head and saw him standing behind her. Big brother Feng, why are you here? Lung Ruoxue asked curiously. After dinner, everyone went to decorate their new houses. She thought Big brother Feng was also doing the same. Shwe, are you alright? Feng Moran couldn't help asking concernedly. They already knew about Yi Chun, but no one dared to ask. I'm fine, Lung Ruoxue said indifferently, but her eyes were fixed on the snow-white, almost transparent fish in the waterfall. Freak always liked to capture the fish here to eat. That's good, Feng Moran said with relief. Lung Ruoxue stood up and said to Feng Moran, Big brother Feng, I'm going back to my room to rest. You should rest early too. We will leave for the Dragon Clan tomorrow. Okay, good night. At the same time, the young man looking for Lung Ruoxue and the others had a depressed look on his face. In a commoner residence in a remote town. Didn't you say that Shwe is here? Where is she? The little silver mink roared furiously and occasionally flashed his sharp little claws to scare the young man. She was originally here, but it seems she's left again. The young man wanted to cry but had no tears. My grandaunt, why are you running so quickly? He rushed over as soon as he received the news, but he actually couldn't make it in time. Boo-hoo, this master of his would probably go crazy if he couldn't find her, but not before he himself went crazy. Hurry up and think of a way to find Shwe. Otherwise you know the consequences, the cute little silver mink threatened, his eyes releasing a terrifying cold light. Master, if my guess is right, Lung Ruoxue and the others will definitely go to where the Dragon Clan is. Why don't we just stay there and wait for the rabbit to show up? The young man analyzed with a fawning expression. You're the rabbit. The little silver mink roared angrily. Humph, is there any rabbit as beautiful as Shwe? She's not a rabbit, not a rabbit. This subordinate said something wrong. The young man quickly admitted his mistake. Boo-hoo. A good child learned from their mistakes. Let's go to the Dragon Clan. The little silver mink said resolutely. Master is wise. Stop flattering me. You know the consequences if you can't find Shwe. The little silver mink said indifferently. Thus the human and mink embarked on the journey to the Dragon Clan. On the way, Master, the chicken you want is ready. Please enjoy it. The young man eagerly handed the grilled chicken to the little silver mink, who was resting on a cushion with his eyes closed. Chapter 203. The Little Vermilion Bird Seeking Help 2. It's passable. The little silver mink took the grilled chicken, which was nearly 10 times his size, and said with dissatisfaction after taking a bite. Master, I've tried my best, the young man said helplessly. Master, your request is too high. Go and see who's interrupting my meal. Kill without mercy. The little silver mink said with displeasure while listening to the sounds of fighting coming from not far away. Yes. After receiving the order, the young man jumped up and flew toward the fight. A moment later, the young man returned. However, not only did he not return alone, but he even brought back a burden. I didn't permit you to bring anyone back, the little silver mink said with narrowed eyes, a little angry. Moreover, he actually brought someone he hated. Cold sweat dripped down the young man's forehead. He also felt that he had done something stupid. He had underestimated his master's jealousy. Boo. What should I do? I'm really dead this time. Muli, is this little mink your contract spirit beast? Wuxia suddenly asked. Although he didn't know why the little mink was so hostile to him, he didn't seem to like this arrogant little mink. You are the contract spirit beast. Your whole family is. The little silver mink immediately became furious after hearing Wuxia's words. It's not my contract spirit beast. Don't spout nonsense. The young man Muli exclaimed hurriedly. He was so scared that his face turned pale. Boo. This master isn't someone I can afford to contract. Oh, why don't you give it to me then? I happen to have a mink as well, so they can keep each other company. Wuxia said with a dazzling smile on his face. Keep each other company? Heavens! Muli was about to cry from anxiety. Oh my god, stop spouting nonsense. He's too petty. Even if you want to die, don't implicate me. Muli couldn't help sneaking glances at the little mink from time to time. Say it again. A certain little mink shouted and glared. I said, I'll find you a partner, Huaqing said with an ambiguous smile and summoned his spirit mink. Huaqing's mink was snow white. Its fur was soft and smooth, and its black diamond-like eyes were clear and enchanting. Master. The snow mink called coquettishly and hopped onto Huaqing's shoulder. Oh, Shuair, I found you a partner because I was afraid you would be lonely. Look at it. It's not bad. Huaqing pointed at the little silver mink, as if he was presenting a treasure. Master, I like it. The eyes of the snow mink named Shuair immediately lit up with countless little hearts upon seeing the adorable little silver mink, and its heart rate accelerated drastically. It even lowered its head shyly after speaking. Good taste. I knew Shuair would definitely like it, Huaqing said happily. At this moment, Muli, who was very close to Huaqing, quietly moved away. Ooh, I don't want to be implicated. Huaqing, don't drag me into this if you want to die. Muli, my Shuair really likes this silver mink. How about it? Give it to me? Huaqing turned to look at Muli, his face full of anticipation. I can't decide, Muli said softly. He even felt like dying now. Moreover, he could clearly feel someone's anger brewing. Oh, Shuair, looks like you have to woo it yourself. Huaqing shrugged helplessly, indicating that there was nothing he could do. Okay. Shuair nodded before rushing toward the little silver mink shyly. The little silver mink, who was in a bad mood, didn't say a word and directly kicked. After that, there was a plop as Shuair rolled onto the ground like a ball. After rolling for some distance, it slowly crawled back and pounced on the little silver mink again. Dong, dong, dong. Shuair was kicked away again and again, and it crawled back again and again. It was abnormally determined and worked hard in the direction of its beloved. Muli was flabbergasted as he looked at the snow-white mink that had just turned black. He was at a loss for words. So persistent. Is the power of love really that great? While he was fantasizing, the little silver mink couldn't take it anymore. He stretched out his little fist and gave the persistent snow mink a good beating. How dare you have any ideas about me? Die. Hey, why don't you feel sad that your spirit beast is being beaten up? Muli looked at Huaqing in puzzlement. How could a master smile when his spirit beast was beaten up? Hitting is affection. Cursing is love. I can't meddle in this young couple's affairs even if I'm its master, Huaqing said nonchalantly with a smug face. Upon hearing Huaqing's words, the little silver mink was brimming with hatred. Damn Huaqing, just you wait. When I get better, the first person I beat up will be you. Huaqing, take care. Muli looked at Huaqing sympathetically and didn't dare to bother with him, lest a certain someone became angry and beat him up too. Master, it's too fierce but I like it. Shuair walked unsteadily back to Huaqing's side, but its will was even more resolute. As a male he had to tame this fierce mink. Ambitious. Master supports you. Huaqing approved. He felt that he was really too open-minded. Little Muzi, let's go. The little silver mink said to Muli and glared at Huaqing in displeasure. Oh, Muli replied helplessly. But he was wailing in his heart. Master, can you not call me little Muzi? Where are you going? Let's go together. Huaqing said hurriedly. Even Shuair, which was sitting on his shoulder, nodded in agreement. Don't follow us, the little silver mink said fiercely, his eyes shining fiercely. Ener, how can you treat me like this? You've hit me and scolded me, but you still want to chase me away. You're too heartless. Shuair spoke up before Huaqing could say anything. Moreover, he even gave the little silver mink a name on his own. He even started crying after. Chapter 204. The Little Vermilion Bird Seeking Help 3. The corner of Muli's mouth twitched slightly, and his heart kept skipping. This Shuair is really one of a kind. He was sure they wouldn't be lonely if they had the two of them on the road. Unfortunately, a certain someone would never agree. Damn it. Don't call me Ener. As expected, the mink exploded again. Shall I call you Diawer then? Shuair probed. He knew that his sweetheart had a bad temper. You're courting death. The little silver mink roared furiously. Master, how did I fall for such a fierce mink? Shuair turned to his master with a puzzled expression. This. I can only say that love is blind. There's nothing you can do when you're in love. Huaqing comforted him. But he was laughing in his heart. He hadn't been this happy since the Hua family's incident. Little Muzi, they can follow if they want. The little silver mink suddenly changed his mind. Huaqing, just you wait. I won't let you go. I'm letting you follow me because I don't want to waste time settling scores with you in the future. Naturally, Huaqing didn't know what was on the mind of a certain vengeful little mink, so he was destined for his tragic future. Thus, the 2 humans and 2 beasts set off for the dragon clan together. Meanwhile, Lung Ruoxue and the others were also sitting on Quill's back and heading toward the dragon clan. Grandpa, do dragons really live on the island opposite Carefree Mountain? Lung Ruoxue couldn't help asking. Legend has it that no one has been to Dragon Island before, Lung Qingtian explained. Dragon Island was not a place where humans could go. Spirit beasts with noble bloodlines like dragons and phoenixes despise humans the most. Little girl, the location of Dragon Island has been passed down for thousands of years on the Lingfeng continent. However, dragons have always been isolated from the world and are strong, so no one has been able to verify the authenticity of this legend. Old Man also explained that the locations of Dragon Island and Phoenix Nest only existed in legends. Yes. Ruoxue, let's go to the Carefree Mountain to look for them first. If we don't find them, we will find them somewhere else, Lin Liang said comfortingly. He knew that this girl was worried that Fengde would be tortured in the Dragon Clan's place. Alas, they were also worried. But it wouldn't be so easy to find the nests of the 2 top spirit beasts. Master, there seems to be a little phoenix up ahead, Quill said suddenly. Really? Where? Everyone asked curiously. Right there, Quill said with a look. Everyone looked in the direction of Quill's gaze and saw a little green bird, seemingly panicking, looking back anxiously while flying. This is a little phoenix? Why is it different from what I know? Lin Yuan asked curiously. Wasn't it just a bird? There was nothing special about it. Didn't I ask you to study hard? Lung Qingtian knocked Lin Yuan on the head lightly. This is a vermilion bird, and a very rare wood attribute vermilion bird, Lung Ruoxue explained. The Phoenix clan was a very large race. There were not only birds like phoenixes but also vermilion birds, great arguses and so on. But the leaders of the Phoenix clan had always been phoenixes because of their numbers, while vermilion birds and great arguses were rarely known. Phoenixes were mostly red and divided into male and female fire phoenixes. There were also a small number of them which were black, blue, and white. The feathers of phoenixes were bright, luxurious, and abnormally beautiful. Vermilion birds and great arguses, on the other hand, might look very similar to phoenixes, but their feathers were not as beautiful as those of phoenixes. This green vermilion bird should still be underage because apart from the phoenix crown on its head, it was not very different from ordinary birds. Little vermilion bird, did you do something bad? Quill blocked the path of the little green bird and teased. No. There are bad people behind me who want to capture me, the little vermilion bird hurriedly explained. His small green eyes darted around, and he suddenly saw Lung Ruoxue, so he threw himself into her arms without a care. Big sister, save me. There are bad people who want to capture this cute Inflame. The vermilion bird, which claimed to be called Inflame, said with a slight sobbing tone as if he had found a backer. Get lost, damn bird. Big sister is mine. Baby, which had been dominating Lung Ruoxue's arms, couldn't take it anymore when he saw someone coming to snatch his big sister away. He immediately roared loudly. Big sister. Inflame looked at Lung Ruoxue pitifully. Tears quickly welled up in his eyes, but they refused to fall. Okay, stop pretending to be pitiful. Tell me, what benefits will I get by helping you? Lung Ruoxue said in a businesslike manner. She just happened to be looking for someone to ask for directions when this vermilion bird came knocking on her door. What do you mean by benefits? Inflame asked, his little face full of question marks. I mean, what will I get if I help you? Lung Ruoxue said with a face full of black lines. Ugh. I actually want benefits from a bird. I have a lot of China bearer fruits I can give big sister. In Flame's green eyes rolled around, thinking for a long time before he replied reluctantly. Boo-hoo. This was his favorite food. He usually couldn't bear to eat them. I don't need that thing, Lung Ruoxue said speechlessly. She wasn't a phoenix, so how could she be interested in China bearer fruits? Little vermilion bird, do you know where Dragon Island is? Lung Ruoxue asked directly, in case this vermilion bird thought that she was going to snatch food from him again. Yes. Dragon Island is very close to our phoenix nest. Inflame didn't understand why this big sister was asking about this, but he answered her honestly. Then I'll help you chase away the bad guys and you tell me the location of Dragon Island, okay? Lung Ruoxue began to negotiate with the little vermilion bird. Big sister, are you going to Dragon Island? Don't go. It's so stinky there. Those stinky dragons are so dirty, and they don't bathe every day, Inflame said disdainfully. Big sister wants to go to Dragon Island to save someone, Lung Ruoxue said with some amusement. It seemed that this little vermilion bird didn't have a good impression of Dragon Island. Oh, then I'll bring big sister along, Inflame said proactively. How dare you snatch the spirit beast I want? An angry roar sounded in the ears of Lung Ruoxue and the others. Chapter 205. The Little Vermilion Bird Seeking Help for. Big sister, save me. Inflame ignored baby and burrowed into Lung Ruoxue's arms to seek protection. Lung Ruoxue looked up with slight displeasure, and her beautiful eyes gently swept over the two people also flying in the air. She laughed in her heart. It's actually them? What a coincidence. Lung Qingtian and the others looked at each other, and the smile on their faces gradually widened. Hee, more fools came knocking on our door to be abused. These two people were part of those spiritual deities. But they would never have imagined that the people they encountered now were the people they were looking for, and wanted to get rid of because Lung Ruoxue and the others had changed their appearance. You've only just seen him, and he isn't yours yet. How can you conclude that I snatched him from you? Lung Ruoxue said with a chuckle. Damn girl, hand over that bird if you know what's good for you. Otherwise you're all dead, the other person threatened. Lung Ruoxue turned her head and said fearfully. Really? Grandpa, he said we're going to die. Hee, I want to see how we die. Old man said nonchalantly with a look of curiosity. I want to know too, Lin Liang echoed. The two of them sang the same song, forming a tacit understanding. You're asking for it. The burly man who spoke earlier roared in anger and directly attacked Lin Liang. Hey, why are you attacking me first? Do I look easy to bully? Lin Liang was depressed and dodged the attack. You won't be so lucky next time. The burly man didn't expect the seemingly ordinary old man to dodge his attack, and couldn't help gritting his teeth. Is that so? You can try. Lin Liang provoked. During this time, he had not eaten so many spirit fruits for nothing. Moreover, after staying in Ruoxue's space for so long, his spiritual power had already reached a saturated state, and he was very close to a breakthrough. Damn old man, you're courting death, the burly man roared, his eyes releasing intense killing intent. Seeing that the fight was about to begin, Lung Ruoxue quickly sent the mercenary group into the bracelet and released all the beasts to help. Grandpa Lin, you can do it. We'll cheer you on. Lung Ruoxue said, wanting to see the world in chaos. Her beautiful face was full of anticipation. Come on. Brat Lin, don't embarrass this old man. Old man also hooted. Come on, beat the bad guys to death. Anyone who bullies Inflame is a bad person. Inflame shouted as well. Well, he was really confident with someone supporting him. You heartless people. Do you want me to fight these two by myself? Lin Liang was so angry. Why did I interrupt just now? Wasn't I just finding trouble for myself? Don't worry. I'll help you, Inflame said, thinking that he was being very kind. But he couldn't help thinking that this guy was really pitiful since no one would help him fight at such an old age. Fortunately, Lin Liang couldn't hear Inflame's thoughts. Otherwise he would be depressed to death. Inflame, you're the best. Inf. You all have no conscience. You're worse than a bird. Lin Liang said angrily as he released a wind blade slash at the burly man. After hearing this, Baby couldn't help covering his snickering mouth. Baby, what are you laughing about? Lung Ruoxue was puzzled as she looked at Baby laughing hysterically. What's so funny? Baby jumped onto Lung Ruoxue's shoulder, leaned against her ear, and whispered what he had just heard from the little vermilion bird. Pfft! Lung Ruoxue couldn't help laughing out loud. This little vermilion bird was really too cute. He actually knew how to respect elders. But she believed that if Grandpa Lin knew what the little vermilion bird was thinking, he would definitely be depressed to death. After all, who was willing to admit that they were old? Swear, what are you laughing about? Lung Qingtian couldn't help asking when he saw his granddaughter laughing so happily. Did something funny happen? Seeing her grandfather's curious expression, Lung Ruoxue told him what Baby had just told her. Lung Qingtian also laughed out loud after hearing this. You guys are too much. Why are you leaving me out of the joke? Old Man complained. With a face full of helplessness, Lung Ruoxue told Old Man's face lit up as he stole glances at Lin Liang. Charm, go help Grandpa Lin. Lung Ruoxue said kindly when she saw that Lin Liang was indeed struggling. Well, she also knew how to respect her elders. Yes, master. Charm and the other beasts were excited after hearing this. Their claws had already been itching while waiting for their master's order. Seeing how eager her beasts were, Lung Ruoxue was at a loss for words. When did my beasts become so violent and aggressive? With the addition of Charm and the other beasts, Lin Liang felt much less pressure. He even gave the main battlefield to Charm, and the others while he watched the battle from the side, and occasionally launched sneak attacks. His actions made the two spiritual deities so angry that they almost vomited blood. Damn it! Can you not be so despicable? A spiritual deity couldn't help cursing. TCH, why didn't you say you were despicable when you two hit me? Lin Liang said disdainfully. Beat him up. Scratch him. Yes, bite them fiercely. Lin Liang continued to cheer excitedly. At this moment, the two spiritual deities were forced by the beasts to the point where they had nowhere to hide. They could only hop around to avoid the attacks of the beasts. Their bodies were already riddled with wounds, and they were in a sorry state. But the beasts were not in a hurry as they calmly attacked from time to time. It was obvious that they were just teasing the two of them. How dare you bully me? How dare you bully me? Bad guys. Bad guys. Inflame, who had been watching from the side, also dashed forward with his blood boiling. He scratched and pecked at the two spiritual deities. This little thing is actually basking in reflected glory. Lung Ruoxue gently smiled helplessly. Yes, but this little fellow is quite cute. Swear, our strength will definitely greatly increase if you can contract with a few phoenixes and dragons. That way, we will gain a small foothold even in the upper realm, Lung Qingtian said with an expectant look. Chapter 206. The Dangerous Grief Remedy Forest. One spirit beasts such as phoenixes and dragons were at the top of the hierarchy of spirit beasts in every realm and world. Moreover, they were powerful and were absolutely the best spirit beasts in people's minds. Although the strength of Lung Ruoxue's group was among the best on the Lingfeng continent, they were at the bottom of the hierarchy in the upper realm. Therefore, they could at least protect themselves if they had a few good spirit beasts by their side. Grandpa, spirit beasts with superior aptitudes like phoenixes and dragons look down on humans more than other spirit beasts, so contracting them isn't easy, Lung Ruoxue explained. She had contracted quite a number of spirit beasts now, and the strength of spirit beasts like Charm was definitely not inferior to that of phoenixes and dragons. So if possible, she wanted to help a few people around her contract those spirit beasts. You're right. Grandpa is asking for too much. Lung Qingtian was a little disappointed. Not necessarily. The space of our little girl is very attractive to spirit beasts. As long as she is willing to help, those spirit beasts will definitely rush to her door. Old Man suggested with a smile. Even his spirit beasts were unwilling to return to the spirit beast space after seeing that space, so how could other spirit beasts be an exception? Very reasonable. Swear, why don't you try it? Lung Qingtian couldn't help looking forward to it again. It would be awesome if he could have a dragon or phoenix as his contract beast. We'll see. Lung Ruoxue said after some thought. It seems like Grandpa really wants a dragon or phoenix. In that case, I have to get one for him even if I have to snatch one. We'll see about what? Lin Liang asked curiously after sitting down beside them. See if we can contract with a few dragons and phoenixes. Lung Ruoxue explained with a light smile. This idea might be crazy, but Grandpa Lin supports you, Lin Liang said excitedly. He would have sneered if anyone else said this, but it was possible since it was Ruoxue. I'm not the one going to contract them. I want to get them for you, Lin Yuan, and the others. Lung Ruoxue said with a very calm expression. Ruoxue, you are so considerate. Grandpa Lin is in need of spirit beasts. Lin Liang exaggeratedly wiped his tears while staring at Lung Ruoxue with shining eyes. Bah! What spirit beast are you lacking? Don't you have any shame? Old Man was the first to shout as he glared at Lin Liang with contempt. Exactly. I've known you for so many years, but why didn't I know you were so thick-skinned until today? I really haven't met a good person. Lung Qingtian said regretfully. Alas! He actually made a bad friend by mistake. You two are obviously jealous of me. I understand. Lin Liang said nonchalantly. People should be thick-skinned when necessary. TCH. Old Man and Lung Qingtian turned their heads at the same time, ignoring the disrespectful old fellow. Charm jumped onto Lung Ruoxue's shoulder and said, Master, it's done. Well done. Lung Ruoxue praised while caressing Charm's beautiful fluffy fur. Her beasts did things so cleanly and efficiently. They even cleaned up the battlefield. Quill, let's go. Lung Ruoxue patted his head gently. Yes, master. Little Vermilion Bird, lead the way. Quill turned to the little Vermilion Bird. Big sister, do you really want to go? Dragon Island stinks. Inflame couldn't help saying with a reluctant expression. Inflame, big sister has to go. Big sister's friend is on Dragon Island, Lung Ruoxue explained. She had long heard that dragons and phoenixes disliked each other. It seemed to be true. All right, Inflame will bring you there. Inflame said obediently and landed on Lung Ruoxue's other shoulder. Inflame is so well behaved. Lung Ruoxue praised as she caressed the little Vermilion Bird's head. Hee hee, big sister, your body smells so good. Inflame loves it, Inflame said shyly. You perverted bird, Scram. Baby roared furiously. How dare he tease big sister in front of me? He must be tired of living. Inflame moved closer to Lung Ruoxue and said pitifully, Big sister, he's so fierce. He's bullying Inflame. Inflame, quickly lead the way. Lung Ruoxue said helplessly. Her beasts were fighting for affection almost every day, giving her a headache. Fortunately, they hadn't started physically fighting yet. Big sister, if you want to go to Dragon Island, you have to pass through Grief Remedy Forest first. But that place is very dangerous. Inflame explained. Grief Remedy Forest? Where? Lung Ruoxue asked in bewilderment. Why hadn't she heard of Grief Remedy Forest? Grief Remedy Forest is on the southernmost part of the Lingfeng continent, and there are many poisonous creatures there, Inflame said worriedly. Those poisonous creatures loved humans the most. I think I've read about Grief Remedy Forest in a book. Plants and animals there seem to be poisonous. Old Man suddenly said with a serious face. Poison? I have to go even if Grief Remedy Forest is full of perils. Lung Ruoxue said nonchalantly. In fact, the reason she was so confident was because of the Heaven and Earth bracelet. Otherwise, she really wouldn't dare to risk everyone's lives. Quill, go to Grief Remedy Forest. Lung Ruoxue ordered. Yes, master. Quill answered and flew toward Grief Remedy Forest. They finally arrived at the Grief Remedy Forest that Inflame spoke of after flying for 3 days. At the entrance to the forest. Inflame, is this the place? Lung Ruoxue asked the little Vermilion Bird, who was munching on a spirit fruit. Yes. It's here. It's very dangerous here. Big sister, you have to be careful. Inflame answered while eating. Inflame, why aren't you afraid of these poisonous creatures since you're from here? Old man asked shamelessly with a face full of curiosity. Because I have the aura of the Phoenix clan on me, they don't dare to hurt me. But I'm still underage, so I can't protect everyone to walk through this forest safely. Inflame lowered his head shyly, feeling very guilty. Boo. Big sister and the others saved me and treated me so well, but I can't do the same for them. Chapter 207. The Dangerous Grief Remedy Forest 2. Silly Inflame. Big sister doesn't care about those poisonous creatures at all. Lung Ruoxua knew what was bothering the little vermilion bird once she saw his expression, so she quickly comforted him. Yes, Big sister is so powerful. How can those things be Big sister's match? Inflame immediately became lively again. Master, shall we enter? Quill asked. Enter. Wait, Big sister. Don't fly, or you'll be in trouble if you get entangled by the cannibal vines. Inflame suddenly warned. Inflame, it's daytime now. Don't poisonous creatures like to appear at night? Lung Ruoxua asked doubtfully. Not entirely. It's just that there will be more at night. Big sister, there are usually very few humans here, so the cannibal vines usually rest during the day. But they will wake up if there is any human smell, Inflame explained. The most wretched thing in the forest during the day was the cannibal vines. Most of the other poisonous creatures basically only appeared at night. Let's enter then. Lung Ruoxua said after she exchanged glances with her grandfather and the others and nodded slightly at each other. Big sister, everything here is poisonous, so be careful not to touch anything, Inflame reminded her worriedly. Okay. Lung Ruoxua couldn't help finding Inflame's nagging funny. What a worrywart. Lung Ruoxua got Lin Yuan and the others to enter the bracelet, leaving only her grandfather, Old Man, Grandpa Lin, Big Brother Feng, Baby, Charm, and Quill with her. 5 humans and 4 beasts walked into Grief Remedy Forest together. After entering the forest, Lung Ruoxua found that it was just as Inflame had said. All the plants were poisonous, and even the air here was poisonous. Fortunately, this forest wasn't very large, or she really didn't know when they would be able to walk out of it. Eat this. Lung Ruoxua handed each of them a pill after taking a few steps. This pill was a detoxification pill she concocted. It might not be able to cure all poisons, but it would at least make things easier for them. Everyone, including the beasts, threw the pills directly into their mouths. They immediately felt a refreshing sensation, and their breathing became much smoother. Big sister, don't touch it. That's very poisonous. Inflame stopped Lung Ruoxua hurriedly when he saw her about to touch an inconspicuous little grass. Big sister knows. Lung Ruoxua carefully dug out the blade of grass with her hand. She didn't expect soul-devouring grass to be growing here. This was great. This way, she could upgrade her controlling pills to soul-devouring pills. A Big sister is actually okay? Inflame's face was full of curiosity. He didn't even dare to touch that grass, but she was actually fine after touching it. It was really too magical. You perverted bird. Do you really want something to happen to Big sister? Baby roared angrily. He hated everyone who wanted to compete with him for favor. Big sister, I didn't mean it that way. Inflame looked at Lung Ruoxua aggrievedly. Big sister understands Inflame's intentions. Lung Ruoxua caressed Inflame's head to console him. That's good. Big sister, why do you want that grass? Inflame was a lot more at ease after hearing Lung Ruoxua's words. But he couldn't help becoming curious again. To concoct pills, Lung Ruoxua answered simply while her beautiful watery eyes looked around to see if there were any more herbs. Ruoxua, these herbs are all poisonous. Can they be used for alchemy? Lin Liang was puzzled. He had never heard of alchemists using poisonous herbs to concoct pills. Could such pills be consumed? Brat Lin, don't embarrass this old man, okay? Of course, the poisonous herbs will be concocted into poisonous pills. Old man pursed his lips, his face saying I don't know this person. Alchemists actually concoct poison. Cold sweat rolled down Lin Liang's back. This was really too terrifying. Grandpa Lin, of course poison is used to deal with enemies. It saves a lot of energy. Fighting and killing are the behavior of barbarians, Lung Ruoxua said with a light smile. She had no choice because she was lazy. That makes sense. Lin Liang thought about it carefully. That's right. Isn't it silly not to use simple methods? But this girl, becoming her enemy will definitely be tragic. Inflame scratched his little head with his small wings in thought and said, Big sister, I know a place with a lot of this kind of grass. Do you want more? Where? Bring big sister there. Come with me. Inflame flapped his little wings and led the way while Lung Ruoxue and the others followed closely behind. Big sister, this is the place. Inflame brought Lung Ruoxue and the others to the place he knew. So many herbs. Lung Ruoxue exclaimed as she looked at the large meadow in front of her. But they were all poisonous. Besides the soul-devouring grass, there were many other herbs. This place can absolutely be considered a paradise for poisonous herbs. Lung Ruoxue squatted down excitedly and began picking herbs carefully. Swear, Grandpa will help you. Lung Qingtian also bent down, prepared to help. Otherwise, when could she pick all the grass? Grandpa, be careful. These are very poisonous, Lung Ruoxue reminded while harvesting. Miss, let us come out to help out too. Lin Yuan sent a voice transmission from the space. There was strength in numbers. Okay. Come out after taking the antidote, Lung Ruoxue said after some thought. Given their current strength, it was very dangerous for Lin Yuan and the others in this forest. After taking the detoxification pills, Lung Ruoxue let Lin Yuan and the group out. With everyone's cooperation, the large patch of grass was finally harvested. Pulling weeds does require strength. Lin Liang collapsed onto the ground, panting from exhaustion. You just realized it. Otherwise, why do you think pills are so expensive? Old man deliberately provoked. Damn, old man, do you feel uncomfortable if you don't quarrel with me? Lin Liang roared. Yes. I'll feel uncomfortable all over if I don't bully you. Old man said without blushing or skipping a beat. Lin Yuan, I'll send you back. It's too dangerous here. Lung Ruoxue looked helplessly at the two people who were fighting like chickens. Chapter 208. The Dangerous Grief Remedy Forest 3. Yes, Mississippi. Everyone be careful too, Lin Yuan reminded. They were too weak, and they still found it difficult to breathe even though they had taken detoxification pills. Let's go, Lung Ruoxue said to Lung Qingtian, and the others after she sent Lin Yuan and the others into the bracelet. Everyone nodded and continued forward. Master, there seems to be some sounds coming from over there. Charm pointed to the right of the forest. Big sister, that's the territory of the cannibal vines. The cannibal vines must have caught food again, Inflame explained. He brought her and the others along a very safe route. Poisonous creatures would basically not appear along this path during the day, but other people or beasts might not be so lucky. Quill, take a look at what's going on. Master, it seems to be the Feng family's first elder, Quill said uncertainly after scanning the area with his X-ray vision. There were two people entangled by the vines, but he hadn't seen the other person before. What did you say? Feng Moran was shocked when he heard this. Is the first elder still alive? Let's go take a look, Lung Ruoxue said understandingly. She believed that Quill wouldn't be mistaken. Moreover, the first elder was her ally, so it was reasonable and logical for her to take a look. Big sister. Inflame stood in front of Lung Ruoxue and the others, unwilling to let them go forward. Inflame, it's okay. You have to trust big sister, Lung Ruoxue coaxed. This little fellow could really cause a headache when he became stubborn. All right then. But big sister, don't get too close, Inflame reminded. We will be careful. Let's go. When Lung Ruoxue and the others rushed to the area of the cannibal vines, they saw two people entangled in the vines. One of them was indeed the Feng family's first elder. Even though the cannibal vines were entangling them, they were still trying hard to get rid of them. Broken vines lay scattered all over the ground, and there were patches of black stains on the ground. First elder and grandpa. Feng Moran couldn't help exclaiming. He didn't expect the other person to be his grandfather. It's indeed that brat from the Feng family. Old man frowned. These cannibal vines were indeed troublesome. Two spiritual supremacies were entangled by them and couldn't break free. Swear, what should we do? Feng Moran looked at Lung Ruoxue in a daze. Even though the Feng family had not been good to him, his hatred for them had long disappeared with their fall. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't worried at all now that he finally saw his only remaining relatives. But he couldn't risk the lives of Swear and the others. After all, Swear was the most important to him. Big brother Feng, don't worry. We have to think of a good plan. Lung Ruoxue comforted him and carefully examined the cannibal vines. Cannibal vines might be called vines, but they were actually large trees. Their branches were made of vines, each as thick as an adult's arm, and would probably be difficult to cut off with ordinary weapons. Moreover, cannibal vines should be spirit beasts of the plant system. But their level was very low, and they had yet to develop intelligence, so they relied on their instincts to hunt. Lung Ruoxue pondered as she looked at the towering tree not far away. If she wasn't mistaken, the cannibal vines in this area should be branches of this tree. So as long as she destroyed this tree, the cannibal vines shouldn't be a threat. Grandpa Old Man, Grandpa Lin, please attract the cannibal vines' attention. Charm and I will go and save them. Big brother Feng, stay here. Lung Ruoxue quickly made the arrangements. Okay, Swear. Be careful. Lung Qingtian reminded worriedly. Swear'll go with you. Feng Moran pulled Lung Ruoxue, who was about to leave back, his handsome face full of determination. Big brother Feng, cannibal vines are very troublesome. It will be inconvenient if there are too many people, so wait here and be good. Lung Ruoxue said as if she was coaxing a child. All right. Be careful. Feng Moran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Swear was treating him like a child. Lung Ruoxue nodded and gave Lung Qingtian and the others a look. The three old men swaggered over to the cannibal vine, swaying back and forth arrogantly. The cannibal vine became excited when it found that more food was coming its way. It hurriedly waved its vines and attacked Lung Qingtian and the others. General Lung, quickly leave this place. The first elder hurriedly reminded Lung Qingtian and the others when he saw them. First elder, stop shouting. Lung Ruoxue quietly crept to the first elder's side and whispered. Ah, Ruoxue, what are you doing here? Leave this place quickly. The first elder shouted anxiously. To save you, of course, Lung Ruoxue explained helplessly. Is this old man that shrewd first elder? Why did he become stupid? The first elder was stunned. He thought that Lung Qingtian and the others had also barged in here by mistake. He didn't dare to think that they had specially come to save them. When he thought of this, a warm current instantly flowed through his heart. All along, he had always thought that he was experienced, knowledgeable, and had seen countless people. But he realized that he only truly saw the fickleness of human nature and the world after experiencing the upheaval of the family. Lung Ruoxue took out her sword and slashed fiercely at the arm-thick vines. The vines binding the first elder were broken off with a bang. Then Lung Ruoxue cut off the vines binding the Feng family patriarch and gave each of them a pill. The two of them took the pills and swallowed them without hesitation. The injuries and spiritual power in their bodies instantly recovered. They looked at Lung Ruoxue with surprise and gratitude. They were about to say something, but Lung Ruoxue stopped them. Leave this place quickly, Lung Ruoxue reminded. Oh, right. The first elder quickly replied. This was indeed not a good place to talk. Grandpa, come back. Lung Ruoxue shook her head when she saw the three people teasing the cannibal vine. She really didn't know what to do with the three old men. It was so dangerous here, but the three of them were having fun. Okay. The three of them retreated reluctantly. Swear, shouldn't we kill this cannibal vine? Lung Qingtian asked curiously while looking at the shaking vines. This cannibal vine couldn't do anything to the three of them. Moreover, it was raging when it saw that the food it had caught had also disappeared. Chapter 209. The Dangerous Grief Remedy Forest 4. We've rescued them. Let's leave this place quickly. Lung Ruoxue said. She was very kind. There must be a reason why this cannibal vine existed, so she should let it go for the sake of the balance of this forest. Okay, let's leave this place quickly, The first elder agreed with Lung Ruoxue. He didn't want to stay here for another moment. After leaving the territory of the cannibal vines, they found a safe place to rest. Ruoxue, I can't thank you enough for your kindness. Just tell me if you need my help in the future, the first elder said sincerely. If Lung Ruoxue and the others hadn't saved him and the patriarch, their 2 old lives would have been lost here. He really didn't know how to repay this life-saving favor. Thank you for saving us. Our Feng family is willing to follow Miss Lung's lead from now on. Feng Jing, the patriarch of the Feng family, suddenly said. During this long period of fleeing, he had heard Lung Ruoxue's great name often. When he saw her today, she was indeed extraordinary. Hee, you sure know how to plan. Old man let out a mocking chuckle. It wasn't so easy to want to become reliant on their little girl. Feng Jing blushed at old man's sarcasm and was at a loss for words. Our Feng family has always been allies with Ruoxue. Now that the Feng family has fallen, it's only natural that we follow Ruoxue's lead, the first elder said to ease the tension. He was much more tactful and eloquent than Feng Jing, and his skin was also obviously much thicker. Moreover, he was 100% supportive of the patriarch's decision. First elder, what happened to the Feng family? Feng Moran, who had been silent, suddenly asked. Moran, are you and Aoran all right? The first elder asked with concern. We're fine, Feng Moran said quickly while looking at the first elder expectantly. Moran, we were hiding, but we didn't expect your uncle to sell us out. Alas! The Feng family suffered heavy losses, and only the patriarch and I escaped. His heart ached at the thought of the Feng family members who had died. Fortunately, he had sent away a group of people previously to preserve the last bit of the Feng family's bloodline. Moran, you haven't seen the patriarch for many years, right? The first elder pulled Feng Moran to Feng Jing. Grandpa! Feng Moran called out with a trembling voice. He had indeed not seen his grandfather for a long time. He only remembered that his grandfather doted on him a lot when he was young. Moer, you've suffered. Feng Jing looked at his grandson with concern. How is Feng Xiao doing now? Lung Ruoxue asked the first elder curiously when she saw Feng Moran and Feng Jing catching up. Dead. Killed by the patriarch himself. The first elder explained. Ruoxue had warned him before, but he hadn't immediately dealt with Feng Xiao because of the patriarch. Alas, speaking of it, he was also responsible for the Feng family's fall. First elder, does your patriarch love big brother Feng a lot? Lung Ruoxue asked. Yes, he is the eldest grandson after all. Since he loves big brother Feng so much, how could he allow him to be bullied? Lung Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. Was it because of his aptitude? Ruoxue, the patriarch really dotes on Moran. But he went into seclusion more than a decade ago, so the affairs of the Feng family were managed by the second elder and the others. Later on, Feng Xiao became the acting patriarch, and he took care of the affairs of the Feng family. Therefore, the patriarch basically knew nothing about Moran's matter. It's not his fault. The first elder defended the patriarch. Alas, every family had its own difficulties. Even the patriarch wouldn't know everything like the back of his hand if no one told him. Moreover, the patriarch's mind was all on cultivation. After hearing what the first elder said, Lung Ruoxue didn't express her opinion. This was their family matter after all. What could an outsider like her say? Big sister, it's getting dark. Let's leave this place quickly. Inflame urged. There would be many poisonous creatures roaming around here at night. Okay. Lung Ruoxue nodded. After hearing Inflame's words, Lung Ruoxue and the others quickly left. First elder, why are you here? Lung Ruoxue asked while walking. It's all because we were forced to buy those spiritual deities. They were hunting us all the time, so we had no choice but to run into this place. After he and the patriarch ran in, they were a little puzzled as to why those people stopped chasing after them. They only found out about the perilous environment later on. How long have you been here? Lung Ruoxue continued asking. Today is the 3rd day. We didn't dare to venture too deep, and could only stay at the edge. The first elder sighed helplessly. At least you still have some brains and know that you can't go in. The farther you go, the more poisonous creatures there will be. That's not something you can handle, Inflame praised. But his words didn't make the first elder happy at all. The first elder looked at the little green bird and felt depressed. Alas! He had lived for so long, but this was the first time a bird remarked that he had some brains. After listening to what Inflame said, Lung Ruoxua looked at the depressed first elder and was overjoyed. Inflame is really a treasure. But now? You don't have to be afraid since I, Inflame, am bringing you around. Inflame continued, his face full of pride. Even though he couldn't deal with those poisonous creatures, bringing them along on some relatively safe routes wasn't a problem. Can this little bird deal with those poisonous creatures? The first elder asked softly. No, he's still underage, Lung Ruoxua said honestly. Then where does he get his confidence from? The first elder was a little speechless. This was the first time he had seen such an arrogant bird. The bird was even more arrogant than his spirit beast. Oh, by the way, Ruoxua, the patriarchs and my spirit beasts are injured. Do you have any way to help? The first elder asked again while looking at Lung Ruoxua expectantly. Are their injuries serious? Lung Ruoxua asked. Chapter 210. The Dangerous Grief Remedy Forest 5. Very serious. Alas, they're about to die. The first elder said sadly. Take these for them to eat. Lung Ruoxua thought for a while, took out 2 pills, and handed them to the first elder. Ruoxua, thank you. The first elder said happily, even happier than when his injuries healed. Big sister, we will be able to walk out of this forest in 2 days after tonight, Inflame reminded. Well, after crossing this forest was his home, and he could invite her to his home to play then. Inflame, let's get out of here as soon as possible. Lung Ruoxua said. The sky was getting dark, and the poisonous gas here seemed to be getting more intense. She really didn't like this feeling. Yes, big sister. Don't worry. Inflame will bring you along very safe shortcuts, Inflame promised. Inflame is the best. Lung Ruoxua coaxed and took out a spirit fruit to reward him. Ruoxua, what fruit is that? It smells so good. The first elder, who had just fed his spirit beast the pill, had sharp eyes. He subconsciously swallowed his saliva. Boo-hoo, he hadn't eaten well for 2 days. So hungry. You must be hungry. Here. Lung Ruoxua handed the first elder a piece of dried meat very kindly. I also want to eat fruits, the first elder complained softly as he reluctantly accepted the dry meat. But his eyes were fixed on the fruit Inflame was chewing on. This is mine. Inflame was on high alert. He hugged the fruit, which was about the size of his body, with his little claw and flew behind Lung Ruoxua to hide. You're already so old, yet you still want to snatch food from a bird. Aren't you ashamed? Old Man's face was full of disdain and ridicule. He took out a spirit fruit from his ring, and deliberately began to eat it in front of the first elder. You, the first elder looked at Old Man, whose mouth was full of juices, with flames of envy raging in his heart. He clenched his teeth with hatred. Who is this old man? I don't recognize him. Why is this old man always against me? The first elder couldn't understand no matter what. First elder, do you really not want to eat meat? This is holy beast level python meat. Lung Ruoxua reminded. The deliciousness of this meat jerky was unforgettable. Really? The first elder took a bite doubtfully, but then he wolfed it down quickly. He never knew that dry meat could be so fragrant. Schwer, I think everyone is a little hungry, so why don't we start a fire here and cook dinner? Lung Qingtian suddenly suggested. The terrain here was spacious and flat, and they would be able to spot any poisonous creatures immediately if they appeared. Okay. Lung Ruoxua nodded and began to prepare. Ruoxua, are your meals all so sumptuous? The first elder was a little dumbfounded as he watched Lung Ruoxua take out pots, bowls, and other containers one by one, as well as a large pile of food. How big is this girl's storage ring? It was the first time that the first elder saw someone have these things in their storage ring. You can't abuse your stomach when you're outside. Lung Ruoxua answered as if it was obvious and didn't feel like she was being extravagant at all. TCH, this is considered too little. We would be able to eat better food if you weren't here, Old Man thought. Alas. It seems like we can only spend the night outside. After dinner, they had one person keep watch while the others went to their tents to rest. After a peaceful night, Lung Ruoxue and the others continued the next day. At this time, Mu Li and his group had already arrived at Dragon Island, and were guarding the only route to Dragon Island, waiting for the rabbit to come. But after a few days of guarding, the rabbit hadn't come. The mink couldn't help feeling anxious. Little Muzi, go take a look. Why aren't they here yet? The silver mink ordered anxiously. Master, don't be anxious. They might be delayed by something. Muli quickly comforted. This master's temper had been growing these few days. Boo, it's so tough on me. Thinking of this, he couldn't help glaring fiercely at Huaqing, and the mink who was actively working hard to pursue his master. What could happen? They left before us. We've arrived, but they haven't even shown up. The little silver mink roared furiously. Diaoer, don't be anxious. Anger is harmful to the body. Calm down. Shuaer comforted Diaoer understandingly. Boo-hoo, his heart really ached to see Diaoer like this. Scram! The little silver mink kicked the snow mink away. Shuaer rolled on the ground twice before running back with a bashful look on his face. Diaoer, I know you love me, Shuaer said earnestly. His master said that hitting was like kissing, and cursing was like loving, and he had always believed his master's words. Muli looked at the obviously sadistic mink, and was at a loss for words. Huaqing, you are dead meat. This petty person won't let you go easily. If you dare to call me Diaoer again, I will turn you into a dead mink. The little silver mink threatened with raging flames in his eyes. He really hated his small body now. Boo, Ina, you're so fierce. Shuaer said fearfully, immediately changing the way he addressed his beloved while sneaking glances at his beloved from time to time. Damn it. You're not allowed to call me Inu either. The little silver mink roared furiously. If he was, he would definitely send the man and beast to hell. Then what should I call you? Shuaer's heart was trembling, but he still mustered his courage to ask. Don't call me anything. The little silver mink kicked away Shuaer, who was sticking to him. Oh, okay, Shuaer obediently said and hid far away to peek. The little silver mink was speechless. This snow mink really resembles its master. Master, calm down. Don't be too angry and hurt your body. Muli tried to hold back his laughter, and tried to console him. Chapter 211. Encounter at Sea, Violent Fire Phoenix 1. Little Muzi, just you wait. The little silver mink glared and threatened him. Humph. How dare you laugh at me? Go to hell. Master, it has nothing to do with me. Muli looked aggrieved and wanted to cry. He knew that it was wrong to laugh at him, but his master shouldn't use his position to take revenge. Anyway, you're dead. The little silver mink turned his little face away, and didn't even look at Muli. Master, I'll go look for Lung Ruoxue. Muli said ingratiatingly, hoping to make up for his mistakes, so that his master wouldn't bear a grudge against him anymore. Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up. Master, I'm going. Muli quickly disappeared to avoid being implicated by the master-beast duo. Lung Ruoxue's group walked for 2 days in Grief Remedy Forest, and finally left the poisonous forest safely. Ruoxue, where are we going? The first elder asked curiously. To my house, of course. Inflame interrupted. We're going to the Dragon Clan to save someone. Lung Ruoxue explained lightly. The Dragon Clan. The first elder was shocked. Were dragons so easy to provoke? They even wanted to save someone from the Dragon Clan. This. Bratfong, if you're scared, you can go back the way you came. Old man provoked, gloating a little. The first elder quickly denied. Who said I was afraid? But where is Dragon Island? Can we find it? This little fellow will bring us there. Lung Qingtian pointed at Inflame. Him? Does this little one really know? The first elder glanced doubtfully at the little green bird, somewhat skeptical. Stinky old man, you dare to look down on Inflame? Inflame roared angrily. How dare you look down on a mighty vermilion bird? Unforgivable. Inflame, be good. Hurry and bring big sister to Dragon Island. Lung Ruoxue caressed Inflame's head helplessly. It seemed like the Phoenix clan had bad tempers. Such a little fellow actually had such a fiery temper as well. Big sister, we will reach the territories of the Dragon clan and the Phoenix clan after crossing this sea. Inflame explained as he pointed at the vast sea in front of them. Hearing this, Lung Ruoxua looked up carefully at the rolling blue sea not far away. The sea seemed endless. Let's go, Lung Ruoxua said to everyone. She was burning with anxiety. Schwer, how do we cross the sea? Feng Moran asked curiously. Let Quill fly us over, Lung Ruoxua said after some thought. Normally, she might choose to make a ship. But she was now in a hurry to save someone, so she had to use the fastest method. Come on up. Quill immediately enlarged his body and stopped in midair. Quill, let's go. Yes, master. After seeing everyone sitting on him steadily, Quill immediately flapped his wings and flew into the blue sky. Inflame, how far away is it? The first elder couldn't help asking after flying for a day. Humph. Inflame won't tell you. Inflame turned his small head away, not looking at the first elder at all. He bore a grudge. Ah. The first elder looked away awkwardly. Boo. Haha. Lung Ruoxua and the others couldn't help laughing when they saw this. It also brought some joy to the dull sea flight. Master, there seems to be a situation up ahead, Quill suddenly said with a wary expression. What's the matter? Lung Ruoxua asked doubtfully. It should be sea beasts, Quill explained. Sea beasts? Lung Ruoxua frowned in thought. It would be very troublesome if they really encountered sea beasts. The so-called sea beasts referred to the spirit beasts in the sea. Spirit beasts in the water were different from spirit beasts on the ground. If humans didn't provoke land spirit beasts, most of them would not actively attack humans. But the sea beasts were different. Most sea beasts were barbaric and bloodthirsty, and they would even kill their own kind. Moreover, many sea beasts were amphibious. Big sister, let's bypass these sea beasts and not provoke them, Inflame reminded. As a member of the Phoenix clan, he knew very well that these sea beasts, which were neighbors of the Phoenix clan, would treat any creature that passed through the sea as food. Lung Ruoxua nodded and asked Quill. Quill, what are the sea beasts doing? Master, the sea beasts should be fighting over territory. Moreover, it's difficult to bypass them without being discovered, Quill said helplessly. The sea in front of them was densely packed with all sorts of sea beasts. Quill, let's take a look, Lung Ruoxua suddenly said. She didn't want to be passive and wait for the sea beasts to finish fighting. Yes, master, Quill answered. But the sea beast spotted him before he could fly close. Food is here, a sea beast shouted. Immediately, all the sea beast's eyes, including the two sea beasts fighting, were attracted to Lung Ruoxua and the others. Looks like we've been discovered, Old Man said excitedly, without any fear on his face. Yes, we've been discovered. These sea beasts are all very strong. Lung Qingtian echoed, his face full of eagerness. Lung Ruoxua looked at her grandfather and Old Man with a dark face. Do you have to be so excited? Fighting with sea beasts on the sea surface won't give us any advantage. They are really humans. Are we still going to fight? An enormous sea python asked its opponent, a large fiery red crab. We aren't done yet, but you have ideas about these humans, the fiery red crab said disdainfully. But its peripheral vision was sneaking glances at Lung Ruoxua, and the others as well. Kill these humans first. We'll settle our scores later, the sea python suggested and even swallowed its saliva exaggeratedly. I'm not interested in these humans. Go ahead and kill them if you want, the fiery red crab said indifferently. These humans were not to be trifled with. The eagle's level alone was above its own. Moreover, they had a vermilion bird of the Phoenix clan by their side, so it didn't want to provoke the extremely protective lunatics of the Phoenix clan. Chapter 212. Encounter at Sea, Violent Fire Phoenix 2. Humph, coward, the sea python said disdainfully. It knew that this stinky crab didn't dare to provoke the Phoenix clan. But after killing these humans and then getting rid of the crabs afterward, who would know that it was the one who did it? Seems like they're discussing how to eat us. Lung Ruoxua said calmly, her face full of anticipation. Little sea snake, don't disappoint me. Master, let's kill all these sea beasts. They're an eyesore. Rise, who was hanging around Lung Ruoxia's wrist, narrowed his eyes in disdain as he stared at the sea python floating in the sea below. A mere reptile actually dared to have any ideas about them. It was really asking for death. That's what I was thinking. Lung Ruoxia nodded. She originally wanted to bypass them, but these sea beasts came knocking on her door to court death. She couldn't be blamed. But spirit beasts in the water were very difficult to deal with, and it was impossible for them to enter the water. So what should they do? While Lung Ruoxia was thinking of a tactic, the sea pythons had already launched an attack on them. Quill, hold yourself steady. Well, attack, Lung Ruoxia said to Quill. Yes, master. Quill carried Lung Ruoxia and the others while keeping their bodies steady and avoiding the attacks of the sea pythons. From the sea, water swords were shooting at them one after another as all the sea pythons were attacking. Schwer, what should we do now? Lung Qingtian asked hurriedly after evading a water sword. Due to the numerous sea pythons, they had to dodge continuous water swords one after another. They were too busy evading and had no chance to fight back. Rise, do you have a way to control the mental strength of these sea beasts? Lung Ruoxia asked. Master, there are too many of them. There's nothing I can do, Rise said gloomily. He had just said that he wanted to kill all these sea beasts, but he was reduced to such a sorry state by them in the blink of an eye. Boo! Am a divine beast. What should we do? Lung Ruoxia frowned slightly and pondered. The sea was the world of sea beasts. They had no advantage at all in the sea despite their strength. And these sea beasts were obviously not planning to let them go. Alas! The pressure of the divine beasts wasn't very useful against these sea beasts now. All of you, release your might. Lung Ruoxia thought for a while, and moved all the divine beasts out of the space. She didn't believe that she couldn't scare these sea beasts with so many divine beasts. My king, they have so many divine beasts, a sea python said with a trembling body. Its level was too low. With the might of so many divine beasts, it was a little unbearable even with the resistance of the seawater. What are you afraid of? Even if they have a lot of divine beasts, they can't do anything to us in the sea. The sea python king said nonchalantly. Although it was a level 9 holy beast, the strength that land divine beasts could unleash at sea was at most the same as it, or even inferior to it. Otherwise, why would it be so fearless? Attack now, Lung Ruoxia said after exchanging glances with everyone. They would deal with the small ones first, and then deal with the biggest one. Everyone and the beasts nodded and launched their strongest attack at the same time. Colorful spiritual powers rained down on the sea beasts, and half of them died in an instant. Eha! Humans, I'm going to kill you all. The sea python king let out a strange cry from its mouth after being completely enraged by the death of so many of its subordinates. Master, it's summoning more subordinates. We have to kill it, Rise reminded. Rise, can you kill the sea python king? Lung Ruoxia asked curiously. Flood dragons should know how to swim, right? Master, I'm not a water dragon, Rise said, a little ashamed. Boo-hoo. He was a dry duck and hated water the most. Lung Ruoxia was also a little dumbfounded. This was the first time she knew that there was a flood dragon that didn't know how to swim. Schwer, what is that? Lung Qingtian suddenly pointed at the colorful light balls shining in the distance. Lung Ruoxia looked in the direction her grandfather was pointing, and saw the colorful light balls flying over from afar. What is that? Big sister, they're from my clan. They're here to help us. Inflame danced around joyfully with a face full of excitement. The Phoenix clan? Lung Qingtian and the others were surprised. Lung Ruoxia and the others finally saw them clearly when the colorful light balls approached. They were not balls of light at all, but beautiful phoenixes shining with colorful rays of light. No wonder it was said that phoenixes were the most beautiful spirit beasts. They indeed lived up to their reputation. Inflame, the leading fire phoenix, flew in front of Lung Ruoxia and the others, her face full of concern as she looked at the little green vermilion bird, but her tone was stern. Mother, boo. Mother is so fierce. Inflame was so scared that he hurriedly hid behind Lung Ruoxia to seek protection, and he even poked his cute little head out from time to time. Lung Ruoxua looked at Inflame with some amusement, and then she turned her gaze to the incomparably beautiful fire phoenix in front of her. She was really a beautiful bird. Her body was mainly red, and her tail feathers were colorful. Her entire body was burning with fiery red flames, but surrounding the flames were shining colorful lights. Moreover, this bird was a divine beast. I am Foamlinger One, Inflame's mother. Thank you for saving Inflame, Foamlinger said gratefully. Inflame had already told her what had happened when he sent her a voice transmission just now. So her attitude toward Lung Ruoxua and the others was very good. I am Lung Ruoxua. They are my family and friends, Lung Ruoxua explained simply. Foamlinger nodded at everyone in a friendly manner before turning her fierce gaze to the sea pythons. How dare you? You even wanted to kill my child. Misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. The sea python king smiled wretchedly as its little heart beat rapidly. Boo-hoo, why am I so unlucky to have provoked this ancestor? But it really couldn't understand how that green vermilion bird could be this violent woman's child. Was it a genetic mutation? One in Chinese, Feng means phoenix. Chapter 213. Encounter at Sea, Violent Fire Phoenix 3. Misunderstanding my ass. So, can killing you also be my misunderstanding? Foamlinger's beautiful phoenix eyes widened as she roared. Grandaunt, I know I was wrong. Please be magnanimous and let me go. The sea python king pleaded. Even though it was a sea beast, it had heard a lot about this formidable beast. It's too late. All of you have to die since you want to kill my child. Foamlinger narrowed her eyes and spat out her southern spirit flame directly at the group of sea pythons. The sea surface immediately became a sea of flames. Except for the sea python king and its subordinates in the flames, the unaffected sea beasts all escaped in fright. Tough. This was the only thought in Lung Ruoxua's and the others' minds at this moment. After dealing with the sea pythons, Foamlinger looked at Lung Ruoxua and the others with a smile. Little sister Ruoxua, you saved my child. I would like to invite all of you to be my guests on behalf of the Phoenix clan. Please grant me this honor. Little sister. Lung Ruoxua was dumbfounded. Inflame called her big sister, but this fiery Linger called her little sister. What a mess. Big sister Linger, we are going to the dragon clan to save someone, so... Lung Ruoxua very implicitly wanted to decline, but she didn't want to anger this hospitable bird. Otherwise, they would probably be burned to ashes if she set fire to them. After all, the Phoenix clan's southern spirit flame was equally famous as the dragon clan's dragon breath. Isn't it just those stinky dragons? Don't worry. Big sister will help you, Foamlinger said, taking charge for them. Her father had ordered her to invite them to the clan. Swear, in that case, let's visit the Phoenix clan first. Lung Qingtian signaled his granddaughter with his eyes. All right, since big sister is so kind, it would be impolite of Ruoxua to decline. Lung Ruoxua said helplessly. She didn't understand why the Phoenix clan, which had always disliked humans, insisted on inviting them as guests. But as the saying went, since they were here, they should take things as they came. Moreover, she wanted to know what the Phoenix clan's motive was. I'll lead the way for you. Foamlinger turned around and flew toward the territory of the Phoenix clan. With the protection of the Phoenix clan, no sea beasts dared to attack them. After flying for half a day, they finally arrived at the Phoenix clan's territory. After returning to the Phoenix clan, Foamlinger immediately transformed into human form and said warmly to Lung Ruoxua, Little sister Ruoxua, Dragon Island isn't far from here. I'll go with you when the time comes. Thank you for your trouble, big sister, Lung Ruoxua said politely while looking at Foamlinger's beautiful human form. What a great beauty! Her beauty was breathtaking, and her dark red eyes were translucent like the most gorgeous rubies. Her figure was hot and enchanting, which suited her personality quite well. Wife. At this moment a tall, handsome, and noble man walked over. He embraced the fiery Linger and looked at her with affection. We have guests, Foamlinger said shyly, her cheeks blushing. It's okay. You can pretend we don't exist, Lung Ruoxua teased. She was sensible enough to turn away and look around. Phoenix Nest was the territory of the Phoenix clan. Looking around, Lung Ruoxue saw tall and upright sycamore trees with luxuriant branches. She knew that the Phoenix clan lived on sycamore trees. There were nearly 1,000 sycamore trees in front of her, which basically had either a phoenix or a vermilion bird on each tree. Little sister Ruoxue, how is this place? Feng Linger asked. Very good. The fire attribute spiritual power is very dense, Lung Ruoxue said honestly. The Phoenix clan's territory was full of trees, so it was not only very beautiful but also had unusually dense fire attribute spiritual power. It was very suitable to cultivate the fire element here. Yes, this place is very suitable for our Phoenix clan to live in, but… Little sister Ruoxue, let me bring you to your lodgings. Feng Linger hesitated and changed the topic. Thank you, big sister. Feng Linger brought Lung Ruoxue and the others to a wooden house. It had a total of 2 floors, just enough for all of them to stay. Little sister Ruoxue, take a rest first. The clan has specially organized a welcome party for everyone tonight, Feng Linger said and then turned and left. Schwer, what do you think the Phoenix clan is up to? Lung Qingtian asked in puzzlement after Feng Linger left. I don't know, but I don't think they mean any harm, Lung Ruoxue said after some thought. On the way here, she had specially observed that the Phoenix clan had many divine beasts. If they wanted to kill them, it would be a piece of cake. There was no need to be so polite to them. Haha, why think so much? We can only come to the Phoenix clan as guests with the help of little girl. Of course, we have to enjoy ourselves, Old Man said nonchalantly. The Phoenix clan and the Dragon clan were the strongest existences on the Lingfeng continent. There was no need to go through so much trouble to kill them, so he wasn't worried at all. Fortunately, the dragons and phoenixes don't have much ambition. Otherwise, the Lingfeng continent would have become their world. Lin Liang sighed. Human powerhouses killed each other every day for that little bit of benefit. Why didn't they cultivate properly? Look at how formidable the Phoenix clan was. There's nothing we can do. There are too many black sheep in the human race. Grandpa, let's all rest for a while. Lung Ruoxue said understandingly. Okay, let's all sleep, Lung Qingtian said to everyone. They had been traveling recently and hadn't slept well. After finding a room, everyone returned to their own rooms. The first thing Lung Ruoxue did after entering the room was to check on Lin Yuan and the others in the Heaven and Earth bracelet. Miss, why did you come in? Lin Yuan was surprised to see Lung Ruoxue. Qingju was sealing off the connection between the space and the outside world these few days, so he wasn't very clear about the situation outside. I came in to see you, Lung Ruoxue explained. She had been unable to enter the bracelet for the past few days because of the First Elder and Feng Jing. We are fine. Miss, don't worry, Lin Yuan said quickly. Is Feng Aoran okay? Lung Ruoxue nodded and continued asking. After seeing Feng Jing and the First Elder that day, Feng Aoran had wanted to go out, but she rejected him. Chapter 214. Encounter at Sea, Violent Fire Phoenix 4. He's okay. We are watching him. How could anything happen to him? Lin Yuan said nonchalantly. Feng Aoran was really too insensible. He only thought about going out to see his relatives, but he didn't think about how he would explain his presence to his family if he really went out. I'll go see him, Lung Ruoxue said helplessly. Alas, it wasn't that she wasn't sympathetic, but she couldn't risk exposing her secret. Although the Feng family was her ally, not all of the Feng family had her trust. Lung Ruoxue went straight to Feng Aoran's bamboo house, pushed the door open and walked in. Aoran, she called out softly. When can I meet the First Elder and Grandpa? Asked Feng Aoran, who was sitting on the bed with his back facing Lung Ruoxue. You can meet them after we save Fengda and leave, Lung Ruoxue explained lightly. She knew that Aoran was a little angry at her because of this. With that, Lung Ruoxue left Feng Aoran's house and entered the purple bamboo house. Inside the house, Qingju was guarding Freak's body. Qingju threw himself into Lung Ruoxue's arms and said coquettishly, Big sister, you're here. Qingju, it's been hard on you. Lung Ruoxue hugged Qingju gratefully. She was very touched that Qingju had been taking care of Freak's body for her. Not at all. But big sister, what do you intend to do with Yi Chen's body? Qingju asked curiously. Does big sister just plan to keep the corpse here? I don't know either. Let's leave it here first, Lung Ruoxue said sadly. She really didn't want Freak to leave her, but she also knew that she couldn't keep him by her side forever. Otherwise, her grandfather and the others would be worried to death. Big sister, who is this person? Baby asked cautiously while his big blue eyes stared intently at the man on the bed. He is the person big sister likes, Lung Ruoxue explained, her gentle eyes looking at Freak wrapped in ice on the bed. Isn't Baby who big sister likes? Baby asked with raging jealousy, but the expression on his little face was pitiful. Of course I like Baby too, Lung Ruoxue coaxed helplessly. Why is Baby so possessive? Her head hurt again. Then why can big sister like others? Baby pouted unhappily. A baby that's different. Lung Ruoxue really didn't know how to explain a relationship problem with an underage little beast. What's different? Baby didn't understand. He only knew what the feeling like was. You're still young. You'll know when you grow up. After comforting Baby, Lung Ruoxue said to Qingju, Qingju, I'm going out first. When Lung Ruoxue left the Heaven and Earth bracelet and returned to her room, she saw Lung Qingtian and the others waiting for her here. Grandpa, why aren't you guys resting? Lung Ruoxue asked curiously. We were waiting for you. Old man answered first. Oh, is anything the matter? Ruoxue, what are we going to do about the first elder in Fengjing? Lin Liang asked with a bitter face. They didn't dare to enter the space with the two outsiders around. I don't know either, Lung Ruoxue said helplessly. Of the two, one was Big Brother Feng's grandfather, and the other was the Feng family's first elder. For the sake of Big Brother Feng's face, she couldn't chase them away. Moreover, the Feng family was her ally. Alas, they would talk about it again in the future. Shuer, send us into your space to rest, Lung Qingtian said. He knew that there was nothing Shuer could do, so he wouldn't ask such a question. Okay. Lung Ruoxue sent the three old men into space, and lay on the bed in her room to have a simple rest. Around dusk, Feng Linger came to look for them. Lung Ruoxue and the others arrived at the main hall of the Phoenix clan with Feng Linger. The hall was built with sycamore wood, and it was for meetings and banquets of the Phoenix clan. Lung Ruoxue and the others felt a rush of fire attribute spiritual power as soon as they entered. Lung Ruoxue looked at the grand hall of the Phoenix clan, which was dazzling in gold and jade, while thinking that she really didn't know who designed this hall to be so similar to human imperial palaces. The only difference was that the pillars and walls of this hall were carved with flying phoenixes. Miss Lung, are you satisfied with our Phoenix clan's chamber hall? A handsome young man with an extraordinary demeanor asked with a faint smile on the throne. Very nice, Lung Ruoxue praised. There were many divine beasts in the Phoenix clan, so it was normal for them to absorb some human thoughts and ideas while traveling the continent. I am Fengjian, the king of the Phoenix clan. Please come in and have a seat. The man on the throne introduced himself, and then said very politely, Little sister Ruoxue, the Phoenix clan doesn't have so many rules. Don't stand on ceremony, Feng Linger said while pulling Lung Ruoxue to sit down. Okay. Lung Ruoxue nodded after sitting down. If she didn't know that they were divine beasts, she would definitely think that they were humans because the etiquette of these divine beasts was more thorough than some humans. Lung Qingtian and the others nodded at the Phoenix King and sat down next to Lung Ruoxue. But they were all a little nervous. They would be dead meat if the Phoenix clan harbored any ill intentions toward them. On the throne, Fengjian carefully observed and took in the expressions of everyone. Then he turned all his attention to Lung Ruoxue. His mind was full of thoughts. Can such a weak woman really be the person in the legend? Soon after everyone sat down, plate after plate of fruits was served. Lung Ruoxue and the others were at a loss for words. We won't be eating these things, right? Miss Lung, I'm really sorry. There isn't much food for humans in our Phoenix clan, so we can only entertain you with these fruits. Fengjian was slightly embarrassed. It's okay. We aren't too hungry. It's enough to eat some fruits. Lung Ruoxua lied through her teeth. Chapter 215. Encounter at Sea, Violent Fire Phoenix 5. In that case, don't stand on ceremony and eat more, Feng Zhan said enthusiastically. Okay. Lung Ruoxua braced herself, picked up a red fruit, and took a bite. Oh, it tastes good. Even though it can't match up to my spirit fruits. Little sister Ruoxua, these fruits are the unique phoenix fruits of our phoenix clan. Only distinguished guests are qualified to eat them. Today, big sister is basking in your glory, Feng Linger said with slight envy. Her father, who was always stingy, really spent a lot today. He actually took out so many at once. You're too kind, Phoenix King, Lung Ruoxua said courteously. She was at a loss for words after hearing what Feng Linger said. Do I have too many good things? Or is life difficult for the Phoenix clan now? The Phoenix clan's banquet was very boring, so apart from eating fruits all the time, Lung Ruoxua and the others would occasionally chat with Feng Zhan or Feng Linger. The other Phoenix clan divine beasts sitting around were all like wood, not saying a word. And their eyes all kept looking at Lung Ruoxua curiously. Lung Ruoxua's hair stood on end, feeling uncomfortable under the gazes of the divine beasts of the Phoenix clan. Moreover, she really couldn't understand what was so good about her. The Phoenix clan had countless handsome men and beautiful women. Miss Lung, what do you think of the men of our Phoenix clan? Feng Zhan suddenly asked. Not bad, Lung Ruoxua answered while breaking out in cold sweat. Why is the Phoenix King asking me about this? What do the good and bad of male phoenixes have to do with me? Miss Lung, are you married? Feng Zhan asked again, his face full of anticipation. Not yet, Lung Ruoxua answered honestly, but her doubts were growing. What exactly does the Phoenix King want? Miss Lung, it's getting late. Rest early. Feng Zhan said after obtaining the answer he wanted to know. Are we getting chased away already? Lung Ruoxua and the others were nervous, and a few drops of cold sweat hung on their foreheads. Then we'll go back to our room first, Lung Ruoxua said to Feng Zhan as she stood up. Grandpa, let's go. Lung Ruoxua turned to her grandfather and the others. Okay. Lung Qingtian and the others stood up and walked directly to their lodging. After they returned to their residence, Lung Ruoxua asked with a face full of question marks. Grandpa, what does the Phoenix King want? Why does it seem like he was going to matchmake you? Lung Qingtian guessed. The strange banquet and muddled conversation confused him. Little girl, give me some meat to eat. I'm starving. Old man directly stretched out his hand in front of Lung Ruoxua in demand. Lung Ruoxua took out some jerky, distributed it to everyone, and took a piece for herself to eat. She was thinking about the simple banquet just now. Well, for beasts, the standards of the banquet should be considered high. Little girl, I think the Phoenix King likes you. Old man teased Lung Ruoxua after he finished eating. Damn old man, will you die if you don't speak? Lung Qingtian shouted. What? It's not impossible. Old man continued, ignoring Lung Qingshan's anger. At this moment, someone knocked on the door. Lung Ruoxua opened the door and saw two stunningly beautiful men. What's the matter? Lung Ruoxua asked doubtfully. Miss Lung, the Phoenix King sent us to serve you. One of the beautiful men said shyly. See, I'm right. Old man smiled and rolled his eyes at Lung Qingtian. Please help us convey our thanks to the Phoenix King, but we really don't need to be served, Lung Ruoxua said politely and closed the door. Outside the door. What should we do? A handsome man asked his partner in disappointment. I don't know, the other beautiful man answered helplessly. In the Phoenix King's resting palace. Royal father, what do you need? Feng Linger looked at her beloved father in confusion. Linger, what do you think of Lung Ruoxua? Feng Zhan asked in return, his expression unreadable. I like her a lot. She also saved in flame, Feng Linger answered honestly. She had a good impression of Lung Ruoxua, but she didn't know what her father's intentions were. Then, what if royal father plans to keep her in the Phoenix clan? Feng Zhan probed. Feng Linger was at a loss for words. Does royal father fancy Lung Ruoxua? If she becomes his wife, wouldn't I have to call her mother? She couldn't help but shudder at the thought. Isn't this too terrifying? I call her little sister. Ooh, how can I accept my little sister becoming my mother? But her father had been alone for many years, and it was time for him to find a partner. If he really liked little sister Wuxia, then she could only accept it. But why did he want Feng Lan and Feng Yang to take care of little sister Wuxia? She was really confused. Feng Linger was incomparably conflicted, and her thoughts began to wander. Royal father, I owe Wuxia a favor, so I hope she will do it willingly. Feng Linger took a deep breath and advised after thinking for a while. She knew her father's temper very well. If Wuxia was unwilling, she was afraid that her father would force the issue. Yes, I won't force her, Feng Zhan promised. That's good. Feng Linger was finally at ease after hearing this. But she felt conflicted again when she thought about how she was going to have a stepmother. At the same time, the little silver mink, which had been waiting on the only route to Dragon Island, learned of Lung Ruoxia's whereabouts from Mu Li, so he rushed to the territory of the Phoenix clan eagerly. Little Mu Zi, are you sure that she went to the Phoenix clan? The little silver mink asked to confirm. At this point he couldn't completely believe Mu Li's words because his trustworthiness was really too bad. Master, I guarantee that Lung Ruoxia is definitely in the Phoenix clan. Mu Li raised his hand as if he was swearing an oath. Hurry up then. Stop wasting time. The little silver mink urged anxiously. I want to go home so bad. Swear I want to see you soon. Ooh, I miss you so much. Chapter 216. Encounter at Sea, Violent Fire Phoenix 6. Just like that, Mu Li flew rapidly in front while Huqing chased after him. My dear, slow down. I can't catch up. Xue'er, lying on Huqing's shoulder, yelled, his fluffy little face aggrieved. You're too slow. The little silver mink mocked. Just keep trying to catch up. After flying swiftly for about 2 hours, they finally arrived at the territory of the Phoenix clan. Who dares to trespass on the territory of the Phoenix clan? A red vermilion bird blocked their way. I'm sorry. We're not trespassing. We're here to find someone, Mu Li said sincerely. He didn't want to fight with a bird that could breathe fire. He hated fire. We don't have the person you're looking for here. Leave quickly, or don't blame me for being impolite, the vermilion bird said with displeasure. We are here to look for Lung Ruoxia. She's a guest of your Phoenix clan. The little silver mink said anxiously. If I wasn't so small now, I would definitely teach this stinky bird a lesson. Do you know Lung Ruoxia? The vermilion bird asked doubtfully. Of course we do. Hurry and bring us to her, the little silver mink ordered. Lung Ruoxia is a guest of our clan. How can we let you meet just like that? Wait for me. I'll go report it. With that, the vermilion bird flew away. Little Mu Zi, let's go in directly, the little silver mink said furiously. Damn it. Even though I want to see the bird actually has to report it. Master, there are many divine beasts in the Phoenix clan. We can't deal with them now, so let's wait. Mu Li advised helplessly. Master, bear with it. This isn't our territory. The little silver mink snorted coldly and turned his little head to the side. Fine, he would bear with it. After receiving the message from the guard, Feng Linger came to the wooden house where Lung Ruoxia and the others were staying and knocked on the door. Lung Ruoxia opened the door and was surprised to see Feng Linger. Big sister, it's so late. Why are you here? Sister Ruoxia, a man claiming to be your friend is looking for you outside. Feng Linger's beautiful face was full of curiosity as she explained to Lung Ruoxia. But she couldn't help muttering in her heart, did a love rival appear so soon? My friend. Lung Ruoxia was puzzled. She frowned slightly and wondered who it could be. No one should know that she came to the Phoenix clan. Little sister Ruoxia, why don't I come with you? If that person isn't your friend, I'll kill him. Anyone who dares to lie to us will die. Feng Linger said fiercely, her beautiful face full of killing intent. Okay. Lung Ruoxia was dumbfounded. Big sister, you don't have to be so violent. Lung Ruoxia and Feng Linger arrived at the entrance of the Phoenix clan. From afar, She saw a man with his back facing her, and he seemed to be talking to a small silver mink. Damn it! Why is it taking so long? The little silver mink jumped up and down anxiously, getting impatient from waiting. Master, calm down. Muli comforted, his mouth dry from talking. Little Muzi, go and ask. The little silver mink ordered with narrowed eyes and a pout. The guard has gone to report. Who do you want me to ask? Muli's handsome face was full of helplessness. If he forced his way in, the Phoenix clan's southern spirit flame would definitely burn him to ashes. Boo-hoo. Then he really would be going to hell. Suddenly, the little silver mink seemed to sense something and suddenly raised his little head to look at the entrance. Schwer. The little silver mink was excited to see the person he missed so much. He pounced toward Lung Ruoxue without thinking. But just as he was about to pull her into his arms, he felt conflicted and miserable. Ooh. My arms and legs are too small to carry her anymore. Ooh. So depressing. It's all because of that damn Muli. Oomph. With this in mind, his blue eyes glared at Muli with hatred. Not far away, Muli saw the little mink's expression and gaze, and his heart skipped a beat. Boo-hoo, he felt aggrieved. How can you blame me for this? Lung Ruoxue, who was getting closer, found it funny. She looked at the little silver mink with a rich expression in front of her. Oh, this little mink is quite interesting. It's happy one moment and depressed the next. Moreover, the aggrieved look in its eyes when it looked at me just now was like that of freak. She couldn't help but laugh when she thought of this. Alas! It seems the poison freak planted in me is pretty deep. I could actually connect a mink with him. Lung Ruoxue bent down and gently hugged the struggling silver mink. Then she looked at the man. Muli, why is it you? Muli was speechless. How should I explain this? I heard you came to the Phoenix clan, so I came to see you, Muli said after some thought. Oh, Lung Ruoxue didn't probe further. Anyway, Muli had always been mysterious and unpredictable. Lung Ruoxue turned her head and said to Feng Linger beside her. Big sister, he is my friend. Since you are Ruoxia's friend, you are also a guest of our Phoenix clan, Feng Linger said cordially. Muli, is this mink your spirit beast? Lung Ruoxia's beautiful face was slightly curious as she gently caressed the soft fur of the little mink in her arms. No. I intend to give it to you. Muli waved his hand frantically. He couldn't afford to take this mink, much dare to want him. Oh, thank you. Lung Ruoxue didn't stand on the ceremony at all. She liked this little mink. It couldn't be helped. Women had always been unable to resist cute little animals. At this moment, the little silver mink, who was being hugged tightly by Lung Ruoxue, was silent. In fact, he was so excited that he was dazed. His eyes were full of bubbles of happiness. Schwer's embrace is so comfortable and soft. I really want to stay in it forever. No, I can't stay like this forever. I still want to embrace Schwer. Boo-hoo, he was conflicted again. Chapter 217. Reunion Mink vs. Baby Duel 1. Little sister Ruoxue, let's go back. Feng Linger said after confirming they knew each other. Lung Ruoxue nodded. The three of them and the beast were about to head back when another voice sounded behind them. Ruoxue. Huaqing finally arrived at the territory of the Phoenix clan. But he was obviously having a tough time and panting heavily. When Lung Ruoxue heard someone calling her name, she turned around. Huaqing. Why are you here too? She was surprised to see him. How did Huaqing find the Phoenix clan? I came with them. Huaqing pointed at Muli with a resentful look in his eyes. Muli was really too unloyal to run so quickly. Lung Ruoxia's inquisitive eyes drifted to Muli. After seeing him nod slightly, she turned to Feng Linger. Big sister, he's my friend too. Then let's go together. Feng Linger smiled gently, but the way she looked at Lung Ruoxue was very suggestive, as if she was saying, you have so many friends. Lung Ruoxue ignored Feng Linger's teasing gaze and walked directly toward their residence. Grandpa, Muli and Huaqing are here, Lung Ruoxue said to everyone in the room after returning to the wooden house. Oh, where? Lung Qingtian was puzzled. How did these two people come? No one knew that they were here at the Phoenix clan. He couldn't help being on alert. Why aren't you coming in yet? Lung Ruoxue shouted at the two people outside the door. We're coming in, they said in unison, but the sparks in their eyes didn't subside. You two seem to be on good terms. Lung Ruoxue teased softly when she saw the two silently communicating with their eyes. You're mistaken. We're not on good terms. The two of them spoke at the same time, and jumped far away from each other at the same time. But their actions were the same. Their sparks of anger were the same. And their thoughts were the same. What kind of look is that? They have a very good relationship, the little silver mink, who had been lying in Lung Ruoxue's arms and enjoying her caresses, suddenly said. Just as he finished speaking, Huaqing's voice immediately sounded. Xue'er, come out and take care of your beloved. Huaqing used his trump card and summoned Xue'er, who was in the spirit beast space. What beloved? Suddenly, everyone's thoughts were attracted by Huaqing's suggestive words, and they all looked at him curiously. Xue'er is here. As soon as the snow mink emerged, he dashed toward the little silver mink excitedly. The little silver mink in Lung Ruoxue's arms stretched out his leg and lightly kicked Xue'er away. Immediately afterward, everyone heard a plop as Xue'er rolled onto the ground like a ball. Xue'er rolled on the ground, got up, and patted the dust off his body with his little paw. Then he pounced on the little silver mink again. He was kicked away again and again, and he got up again and again. This cycle stunned everyone. They wanted to laugh but didn't dare to, for fear of hurting the weak and small heart that was bravely pursuing love. Dear, you really love me so much, Xue'er said stubbornly, his fluffy little face full of bliss. Xue'er's words made everyone, who were already struggling to hold in their laughter, break down. Ha ha, ha ha. Among them, Old Man was the most exaggerated. He thumped his chest and stamped his feet nonstop, laughing until tears came out. Little Hua, where did you get this superb spirit beast? Old Man asked with a smile. This Xue'er was really too funny, but this spirit was worth learning from. Yes, this mink is really too good. Lin Liang also laughed until his nose was covered in snot and tears. That's right. I haven't laughed so happily in a long time. Lung Qingtian couldn't help adding. He turned his gaze to the angry little silver mink in Xue'er's arms. Where did this little thing come from? Lung Ruoxue raised the little mink in her arms and looked directly at the mink. The flames of anger in the beautiful blue eyes immediately turned warm and mushy. The fluffy little face was extremely shy when facing her. Isn't this little mink changing its face a little too quickly? Lung Ruoxue was at a loss for words. She looked at the silver mink and then at the snow mink. Well, love shouldn't be forced. Your name is Xue'er? Lung Ruoxue bent down with a smile on her face. She tried to soften her voice so as not to scare the little thing. Yes. Xue'er nodded obediently, and then stole a glance at Lung Ruoxue. He lowered his head shyly and looked at the ground. Xue'er, do you know? Relationships need to be mutual to be happy, so... Lung Ruoxue deliberated over what to say so that she wouldn't hurt this cute little thing. What do you mean by mutual? Xue'er looked up at Lung Ruoxue with a lost expression. You have to like each other, Lung Ruoxue explained weakly. She really didn't understand what the point of discussing relationship issues with a mink was. We are mutual, Xue'er said resolutely. Xue'er, if it likes you, it wouldn't treat you so rudely. Lung Ruoxue didn't expect the mink to be so stubborn, so she had to explain patiently. Hitting is affection. Cursing is love. Therefore my dear loves me, Xue'er said with certainty. He had extraordinary confidence in his charm. Thinking back, he was also extraordinary in the snow mink tribe. No female mink could resist his charm. Who told you that hitting is affection and cursing is love? Lung Ruoxue was speechless. That bastard actually told a mink this. Isn't this harming the mink too much? Master said so. Xue'er betrayed Huaqing without hesitation. You told it. Lung Ruoxue's beautiful eyes glared at Huaqingqing. She was fuming inside. Wasn't that teaching the wrong things to an innocent and cute little animal? Xue'er likes that silver mink, and am just encouraging, Huaqing said guiltily. In fact, he was just angry at the little silver mink that didn't treat him well, and he also disliked the mink a little. Chapter 218. Reunion Mink vs. Baby Duel to encourage my ass. Lung Ruoxue roared angrily. Emph. She would have thrown him out if they weren't in the Phoenix clan. Master, it seems like she loves you very much too. Xue'er pointed at Lung Ruoxue with a look of realization. Lung Ruoxue and Huqing were embarrassed. Seeing them silent and not knowing what to say, the little silver mink flew into a rage. Xue'er will never love him. He dashed at Xue'er fiercely and began punching and kicking him. Humph. I can't beat your master now, but I can teach you a lesson, the little silver mink complained in his head. Everyone was stunned by this violent scene. How violent? Old man chuckled. The word gloat was clearly written on his wrinkled face. Lung Ruoxue returned to her senses and hurriedly embraced the little silver mink who was baring fangs and brandishing claws to prevent the poor Xue'er from being beaten to death. Xue'er, are you okay? Lung Ruoxue looked at the disheveled Xue'er, whose hair had fallen all over the ground and whose body was covered in bloodstains. She looked apologetically and took out a pill to give to him. Xue'er took the pill, smelled it, and put it in his mouth. His injuries healed instantly, but the fur that fell couldn't grow immediately, so his current appearance. Poor Xue'er. It's all Master's fault. I shouldn't have encouraged you to chase after that barbaric silver mink. Huqing bent down and embraced Xue'er tenderly, his heart full of distress. It's okay. I like lively female minks like this, Xue'er said without remorse. He was determined to go down this path. Female mink. Two terrified voices sounded at the same time. One was from Mu Li, and the other was from the little silver mink. What happened to you two? Lung Ruoxue looked at the man and the mink suspiciously. Why did they have such a big reaction? The little silver mink stared at Mu Li for a few seconds, then quickly left Lung Ruoxue's arms and ran to a corner where no one could see. He spread his legs and lowered his head. What a relief. Luckily. Huqing, your Xue'er is male. Mu Li asked fearfully with a very strange expression on his face. Yes. What's the matter? Huqing was puzzled, his face full of question marks. Not only him, but everyone present didn't understand what was going on between them. Damn it. I'm male too. The little silver mink roared furiously after checking his gender, and lying back in Lung Ruoxue's arms. His beautiful fur stood on end in anger. Pfft. Everyone was stunned for a moment before laughing out loud again. Haha, this is too funny. Old man laughed the most exaggeratedly again, and this time he simply sat directly on the ground. Lung Ruoxue didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She looked at the foolish Huqing and Xue'er with pity. Alas! They actually made such a big mistake. Darling, you're lying to me, right? I don't believe you're male. Xue'er, who returned to his senses after a long time, couldn't accept this cruel fact. Ooh, how can the first mink I fell for be male? My inner was so beautiful and cute. Ooh, too sad. Xue'er, my condolences. You will meet someone you like again in the future. Huqing quickly comforted the sad Xue'er while hating himself in his heart at the same time. He was responsible for Xue'er's unrequited love after all. Master, I want to return to the spirit beast space, Xue'er said with tears in his eyes. He wanted to find a place where no one could see him and cry properly. Boo-hoo, my first love. After the farce, everyone felt a little sleepy and returned to their rooms to rest. Lung Ruoxue returned to her room with the little silver mink in her arms. After placing the little mink on the bed, she also lay down on the bed. The little silver mink occupied Lung Ruoxue's arms unceremoniously. Woo! I finally have the chance to share a bed with Xue'er. So exciting! Lung Ruoxue was puzzled as she looked at the shy little silver mink, wondering why the way he looked at her seemed so similar to how Freak looked at her. It was so strange, but she didn't think too much about it. Freak was already dead after all. Big sister, I want to come out. Baby sent a voice transmission from the bracelet at this moment. Lung Ruoxue let Baby out. As soon as Baby came out, he dashed into Lung Ruoxue's arms, only to find that his big sister's arms were occupied by a cheap little mink. Get lost. That's my spot. Baby roared domineeringly, wanting to rip this mink into pieces. But after hearing what Baby said, the little silver mink didn't even look up and completely ignored the little black furball baring his fangs and brandishing his claws. No fighting, no fighting, Lung Ruoxua said softly. Then she closed her eyes and went to sleep. Seeing that his big sister didn't back him up, Baby felt very aggrieved. He laid on Lung Ruoxia's pillow and looked at her with tears in his eyes. The little silver mink opened his eyes and said mockingly, "Stop pretending to be pitiful. Schwer is already asleep." When I was pretending to be pitiful, this little thing was still in some unknown corner. You, Baby glared at the mink angrily. Huh, why can't I see this annoying fellow's soul? Baby was puzzled. What was even more strange was that he couldn't even see the thoughts in the mink's mind. What's going on? No person or beast, except for Big Sister, can escape my soul search. What about me? I'm your boss from now on, so you have to listen to me. The little silver mink said indifferently with a cold snort. You? Why? You are only an advanced spirit beast. You actually dared to call yourself a boss in front of this daddy. Baby was furious and roared. He had to defend his rights and uphold his reputation. He couldn't be defeated by this newbie. Otherwise, he would lose face in front of all the spirit beasts in the future. Because I'm Schwer's beloved. The little silver mink looked smug, and his arrogant tail hung in the air. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.